Because I'm muted like an idiot. Right, yeah, because I was watching a thing. Right, sorry. I'm Execute. Welcome to the Inforunners. I'll be riding solo for about 10 minutes. Algared's just coming back from the shop, so he's taking a little longer than he thought. So yeah. So yeah, he'll just be getting some stuff. We will be taking your questions today for IAE, obviously, so make sure you get those in a minute. Just give me about 2 minutes to get the bot up and get things organized. You know, I've got to do that at the start of every show because things reset themselves. So just give me a moment to get those going. Start. All right, bot's up so you can get your questions in. And I got to move the YouTube stuff around so we can see that chat as well. But how have you guys been finding IAE? I found it, like all the other years, to be a little lackluster. It seems to be less and less for us and more for the new people. But I do think tomorrow will be for us. Fingers crossed. But we'll have to wait and see about that one. You're an expert lip reader. Can you read that? Yeah, I bet you can. Right. Hope you're all doing well. I redid some stuff too. Yesterday I had a bit of free time, so I went back through and I kind of cleared out all the Patreon stuff because that's Algared's job and he missed some of it. So it's very streamlined now. There was a lot of people on there that shouldn't have been on there. A lot of people that weren't on there that should have been. Things like that. So I've gone back through and hopefully that's tied it up. You'll notice there's a lot less names now. Like if I flick it over for just a second. So yeah, a lot less names. So that's all tied it up. I guess for me, I do want to go through some stuff with the Paladin, but I think I'll wait till Algared's here so we can kind of go backwards and forwards a little bit on that. I guess we could probably talk about the skin for the Intrepid. A $3 skin I think is a bit. Is it really for Black Friday or is that the excuse they gave? You know what I mean? Like they've never done that before. It already came with the skin, and to give a second one, like I don't know. It feels a bit cheap. That said, though, it is an exclusive skin. You can't buy it in the store. You have to essentially be given it. And it is a pretty nice one. I would say it's probably the second or third best. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, guys, know your thoughts on that. Also, yeah, don't forget your questions. I haven't had a single question come in. I'm now starting to panic that the bot is broken. Hang on, I'm going to have to do tests. Question. No, it's working. All right, so it's not the bot. It's you guys. Where are your questions? Come on, chop chop. Because then I could have answered one or two of them. Questions for me, why Algared's not here. How about that? Probably didn't like this. I hope giving a black skin to everyone felt like a nod to everyone who brought a starter pack but wasn't concierge and could get a special paint. Yes, a little bit. I agree with you on that. I don't know, just they've never given a Black Friday skin before. Why start now? That's not. It just feels like an excuse. So yeah. Question from 19 Crossbones 85 who says, "What is your opinion on the Kraken plus BM versus Kraken versus Privateer?" That's a really good question, actually. Gonna be honest. You get more shops in the Privateer, but you also get shops in the Banner Merchantman. So it's essentially what you're asking me is luxury shops versus Drake shops. I don't want to call them dilapidated low-end shops. I don't know if that is a thing, but we've theorized this for a while. I think there is room for both of them, to be honest. But yeah, $350 for that upgrade is a bit steep. I'm gonna be honest, I got both of them. I've got a Kraken, I've got the upgrade, and I've got a Banner Merchantman, and I'm just sitting there waiting to see if I should apply the Privateer stuff. So I'm kind of waiting for more on the shop's development to come along before I see if I make that plunge. So again, if you can get the upgrade, maybe just sit on it and like I am and wait. I do know it's a lot harder to get the upgrade now. I don't think you can get it anymore. I think they kind of removed it for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. How's the foot, says John. It's getting better, but it's still in a bandage. I don't know if I can show you guys, but I'm still wearing Ugg boots. But yeah, they put a big bandage thing on it every day. There we go. So yeah, it's gonna take a while to heal. I'm in to see a special podiatrist on Tuesday my time, which will be Monday your time. So hopefully they can actually look at it and it can start healing, because up until this point they've just been topping the bandage. There was nothing they could actually do. So yeah. Right. Radium TX says, question, based on what you've seen thus far, are you planning on buying the Paladin? What would it take to be a must buy? As I said, I kind of want to go this one. Algared's here, so I'll just answer it briefly. It essentially looks like a Redeemer competitor of some sort, so a gunship competitor. I don't mind the Redeemer, even with its kind of nerfs. So it kind of does speak to me. And I have like almost all the gunships in the game. That might sound a bit weird, but I do. So yeah, it might be my type of thing. We'll have to wait and kind of see. But yeah, we'll go over that when Algared gets here. Swift Werewolf says, do you think the final will have some great upgrade war bonds, aka new ones that we've never seen before? Well, probably because there's more new ships that have come in since last year, so there's at least going to be a war bond for a ship that came out this year. But realistically, everyone that's been here for a while will tell you that the war bonds have got worse over time. They went from about 30% saving down to about 20%, so they're just not quite as hefty as they used to be. So I'm not expecting anything that's going to blow me away, if that's what you're asking. Like, some of the war bonds I've got are absolutely crazy. You know, I've got like ones like Ban and Merchantman ones that save like $300 and stuff like that. You're never going to see that again. You know, they're a $10 upgrade and they save 300. That's just bananas. Yeah, I just can't see it anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, all right. Next question was Sean Solo. Which 89 paint is your favorite? Yeah, we're going to go through that with Algared as well. Hopefully he set that up. He's got an 89 jump, and we're going to go through the skins and have a look at that. See which one he keeps. I'm a big fan of the Meridian ones in general, so and that's the most expensive one, so I'm kind of expecting that to be pretty damn good, and then it would probably be the black and gold one after that for me. I'm not a very big blue-orange guy. I just find it a bit tacky. Shampasta says, it seems like the whole limited ships took a lot longer to sell out. What are your thoughts on... Well, because it's for cash. Nobody wants to spend fresh cash. They just want to move stuff around. That's why. Why would you want to do that? Like, and they've now polluted the pool so much that you can buy credits cheap. You can use war bonds. There's heaps of tricks you can deploy. So nobody wants to spend the whole kit and caboodle anymore. That's why they've stuffed with their own system. I don't think they realize. Well, they tell me they track everything, but like, I just don't think with what they've done do they know what they've really done, if you know what I mean. I think they've kind of stuffed with it a little bit too much. So yeah. Man, I'm chewing through your questions here pretty fast. Let's see what I can pop up here, and we'll go look at something while we wait for Algared, because otherwise I'm just gonna go through your questions and there'll be nothing to do when Algared gets back. Yeah, of course it had to be Origin Day, didn't it? My list enjoyable. Let's have a look at this one. Hang on. I can pop this over. Where is it? That one. Yep. Yeah, so Defy Convention. I did spend a lot of time going between the Spirit, this, and the Ares. And believe it or not, the only real thing that I can come back to where this doesn't look like the Spirit series at all is really that it's asymmetrical. And again, that shows me that it's ripped straight from the Ares. And even then, the Ares is center-lined. I know that. But there's no way you could do the 2 corridors any other way. You would have had to have like a Y-shaped corridor up here, and in a ship so small, it just wouldn't pan out. So they've obviously had to make some compromises to get this done. Then I could also have the argument that they could have just had one large corridor and one large room and not had a corridor at all, you know, which is probably how I would have done it. But I keep going back through it, and I said this when I did the buyer's guide as well. Why have a corridor at all? And I think it's for fires. There is a fire. The only thing in that entire corridor besides the doors is the fire extinguisher. And if there are doors that essentially block off where the fires can be, it allows you to pick up the fire extinguisher and then push into that room without having to damage yourself, so to speak, and stand in fire. So yeah, that's my only real thinking for that one. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a tough little ship. Like I've really tried to spend some time with it, but I just can't. It's just, I think that's the problem with when we do stuff like this. We min-max a lot of stuff, and Space Tomato kind of said this on his show, and I really kind of agree with him. We really need to start seeing what each ship is best at, and so I did kind of go into it with that in mind, and it is really good at long range and fuel consumption. I think when Pyro comes out, people will start to look at the ship a little differently. Because like all the starters can do 1 jump, right? But all of a sudden when you start to do 2 or 3 jumps, this becomes clearly different from the other ships. So you put that in Pyro terms, it might be able to cross the entire system in one go, where the others have to do 2 jumps or whatever. And that's going to become more and more annoying, let's just say, if you have to do some really long distance travel. Like starter ships are going to really struggle, and this might be where this thing comes out above the other ones. Yes, it doesn't quite have the cargo, but I think it's got the distance, and I think that's where this might shine. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Yeah, the Carter does have a high QT fuel, mainly the Rambler. But again, that's for touring as well. And again, it's got far less cargo. I think it's only got the 2 SCUs, so it loses even more. I'll have to double check that one. It's been a hot minute since I was in the Rambler. But yeah, 2 to 4. Either way, it's half the cargo at the very least. So yeah. All right. I'll try and take another question. This is a really difficult one. I don't know about Algared here to answer the questions as well. It kind of flattens it. Socially Confused says, have you seen the new cleaned up Paladin picture? No, I have not. Does someone want to link it to me, and we'll go through it when Algared gets here? Or is it on Reddit? I'll see if I can open Reddit and find it. Reddit. Reduce distortion on the Anvil Paladin. Oh, this would be it. Oh, yes, that does change it quite a bit, doesn't it? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, it's definitely not a vehicle carrier. That is true. That is really good. Okay, so it's not a vehicle. So what I thought was the tank is actually an see, that changes it quite drastically. Wow. Yeah, that is a gunship. That's a gunship. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think that very much puts it in the domain of the Redeemer. It is a counter to the Redeemer. We're actually starting to see Anvil and Aegis butt heads, which is in law what they're meant to do. So, interesting. Interesting. It definitely still looks like it's been ripped off the Valkyrie. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree on that. Had a lot of the weight stripped back. Clearly the engines are smaller because it doesn't have as much weight. Yeah, I just keep thinking stripped back Valkyrie from what I'm seeing. Yeah. What does HGH stand for? Can you, Sparkplug, can you spell that out for me? HGH? I'm not a military guy, so I don't know the military lingo. HGH. I don't know what that means. Exactly, Valkyrie on HGH. Is that a drug? HGH? I might need to Google that. You can't tell me what it is. Yeah, it's gonna be different. I'm thinking it might be cheaper than the Valkyrie though, because it's stripped back. So instead of 375, I'm expecting like somewhere between 330 and 375. But knowing CIG, if they're evil enough, they'd make it cheaper than the Redeemer, so you can't just upgrade to it. And I think that's the plan. I think it'll be like $300 or something. HGH is a steroid. Okay, cool. Growth hormones. Okay. Yeah, cool. All right. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Cheaper or more expensive than a Redeemer? 280, you reckon? 280. I think that's a bit of hopium, personally. I think they're going to put it really close, but you know, 300. Oh, Agrod's camera's on, so he'll be back soon. All right. Still got this nasty cough. This is really interesting. Yeah, and I don't think they're size 5 guns either. With all the complaints that happened to the Redeemer, I think it has to be size 4s. I don't think they'll go, oh yeah, by the way, we're just gonna overgun. Well, they could, right? But can you imagine the blowback? You just nerfed the Redeemer so you could upgun this to sell this one, you know? So, yeah, I don't think that's going to be a thing. Huh. I don't know, let me know your guys' thoughts as well on that one. I think it is going to be interesting. We'll come back to this one, though, once Algared comes back. Won't be too long. Right. Do you think CIG will surprise... So this is from Citizen Ninja. Do you think CIG will surprise drop the G12 sometime over the next year? It might be a good $5 CCU to grab since sub 100 CCUs are rare now. We don't generally recommend vehicles, and I think, to me, the G12, we did talk about it today in today's video. It is really a Cyclone masquerading as a larger one, and all you really get is the closed cab, so I don't know if it's worth it for the extra price and size increase. Got 2 first-time chatters on Twitch. Parlex says, just discovered your channel. Since how do you follow Star Citizen, if I may ask? I've been doing it since the start in Kickstarter, so the whole time. I think I discovered it the second day. My housemate discovered it the first. He doesn't follow it anymore, and he thinks it's a scam. He's got a bounty hunter pack from Kickstarter, which is the 300i, but he thinks it's a scam. He went the completely opposite way, and I went right down the rabbit hole. First time chatter. Demon Eyes Play says, is that a person under the JGC in the top right to give an idea of size? Oh, wait, hang on. Let's go back to this. Top right. Yeah, I think that could be a person up there. I know you can't see my mouse point. Up here, he's suggesting that this is a person. You also got to think far away. You've also got to think the size of the Valkyrie. That is pretty much on point. But yeah, this thing is 100% tailored at the Redeemer. Even the shape of it looks like Redeemer. Like, you know how the Redeemer's got that kind of boat shape to it? I don't know how else to explain it, but like it's got that same bow in it. Yeah, I see a lot of Redeemers disappearing tomorrow. A lot of them. They did say 124 meters in the files, but it's clearly not 124 meters. And if you take the Valkyrie, one of the ships, I think if you doubled it, it almost looked like the Carrack. And a lot of the Holoville models are like, for example, the Genesis Starliner had 2 of them. So they can show it from different angles and stuff. So I think they've done something like that with this model, and it appears to be 124 meters, but it's not actually 124 meters. So I think that's where the confusion comes from. They might even have 2 or 3 of them flying in lines to show you different angles. Like, for example, they could have the front, the side, and the top, and that would be 3 models that almost get 164 meters because they just take the bounding box. So yeah, I think it's multiple ships in the one bounding box. Yeah, but they're definitely being more careful with what they put in the files now. Because ironically, they're using the tools that the data miners used at CIG to do things now. So there's two teams that use them. I found this out. So there's one that uses them to actually do what they're meant to do. And the second team uses them to find out what's in the files to hide them from the leakers. So ironically, the leakers invented tools that are now being used to stop the leaks. I think that's hilarious. Just personally, but yeah. Anyway. All right, Algared, you there, mate? I can see he's there, but he's not. There he is. How you doing? Oh, your green screen. Hang on. You look unprofessional. I'm going to have to... I can't hear you either. You're muted. Look up, Algared. Nope. No voice. Nope. You are muted. All right. We just keep... I'll go back to solo until you start talking and I can hear you. I was looking forward to you being here, but clearly you don't want to talk to me. Right. Demon... Oh, there you are.
There you go.
What was it? You were muted? I was muted too at the start, don't worry. I stuffed up earlier too.
I forgot to press the power button.
Oh.
For the microphone.
We do have a question for you straight off the bat. Ray John says, how was Paris, Algared?
Cold. It snowed.
Yeah.
So I've got some pictures of the Eiffel Tower in looking white.
Interesting. Yeah. So we've got a few things to look at today. We're also, I don't know if you saw this just a second ago.
Yes, Connor, I saw that as well.
Oh, whoops, wrong one. Damn it, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons today. I've got to turn you back on. There you are. Someone cleaned this up, and it definitely doesn't take vehicles. So that is very clearly tailored at taking on the Redeemer. Actually, I just realized there's other images here. Is he... Oh, that's the original. Interesting.
Do you want to do me a favor and share the screen so I see it live?
Oh, yeah, shit. Sorry, mate.
It's okay.
You weren't here, so I didn't have you complaining at me to do that. Yeah. All right, can you see it now?
I can.
Yeah, so they've cleaned this one up significantly. So that's the original. And I thought this was a tank down here. Boy, was I wrong. It's just a thruster. But that does look a lot like a Redeemer, does it not? Like the back swept end. So, yeah, we're in for some... Yeah, I think it is just a gunship. I think it is...
A heavy gunship.
Yeah, I think it is literally just a direct competitor to the Redeemer. Yeah, interesting. So, a lot of Redeemers being melted tomorrow or upgraded, you reckon?
I think in the end it'll depend on what else
it does.
it's equipped with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a reasonable assumption, especially if its flight model is comparable. You know, there's going to be crew and all those aspects that come into it, but yeah.
I think you need to turn your lights on too, bro.
Yes.
You're in the dark again. You're doing that evil villain look.
Oh, well, I was practicing for the evil villain.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's going to be interesting tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah, they also tied it up.
Light.
They also tied it up the other one as well. So, it almost looks like it's got 4 turrets on top. So 2 on each side and 4 on top, which is interesting. It's funny how you and I said if you gave it more guns, like made quad turrets on the Redeemer, and it's almost like that's what they've done on
top
this.
turret is a quad turret.
But then here it looks like a double, not a quad.
No,
so it's really confusing.
You got 2 guns at the top and just below.
Oh, just there. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, people can't see. So we're talking about this thing right here. That does look very similar to the one above, doesn't it? So yeah, 4 turrets on the top one, and then 2 on each
4
side.
4 guns on the top and 4 on the bottom, maybe.
Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. But to me, the reason why I'd say it's only 2 on the sides is if you look at this shot here, there's only 2 blasts. And there's 2 blasts there. So
and there's no turret underneath. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
A quad turret and 2 twins. Yeah, nice.
What happened there? Went all small on me.
Pardon me.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I don't know. That actually definitely puts it a lot more in perspective for me. It's a shame it doesn't carry vehicles. That would have been so cool. But
well,
kind of actually prefer it this way, to be honest. Personally.
I've got to say, it also, with that quad turret, I think it also will appeal to the Hurricane in us. You know, like,
Yep.
one of the things we said we liked about the Hurricane was that man turret.
Yeah.
And I think that appeals to that.
I do hope that this is what happens. It looks like the pilot doesn't have guns, but again, if this is just like a bigger Hurricane, it'll be almost an instant buy for me. I can tell you that right now because of how much fun you and I and I've had with other people in it. So yeah.
Are those side guns actually turrets, or are they actually wing-mounted pilot guns?
Well, on the Valkyrie, they're remote turrets.
Yeah.
So they could just be remote turrets as well, but I don't have a problem with that. I think they probably most likely will be remote turrets, just based on where they're positioned. That one's still a turret because that's exactly where it was on the Valkyrie. So yeah, that's kind of 2 remote turrets, 1 turret. Again, a 4-person gunship, just like the Redeemer. And if this is somehow modular down here, oh boy, the Redeemer's in trouble. Oh boy, it'll be in trouble.
I would hope that it's not modular, just because the Redeemer was sold as being modular, and so the Redeemer gets that advantage, but it's not maybe as good a gunship. So the yin and yang.
What if they came out and said you're getting forced upgraded to this and the Redeemer's going away? What would you say then?
Fine.
You wouldn't have a problem. You don't think there'd be any playback whatsoever? No one would care.
You asked me what I thought.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm both sides of the coin, you know.
Like, there'd be people who'd be upset. I think if I was saying if this is Redeemer Mark 2, and they're giving a free update to the Redeemer, then fine. Or, but I'd have no problem with that being a replacement to the Redeemer.
All right, if you had to sit here and kind of this is a little bit of speculation, Senator, that doesn't really matter, and it's made up, and the points don't matter. Where do you think the entry is? Do you think it's on the side, the front, the back? Like, if you just had to guess, and it is a guess, I know that. So just what instinctively kind of
front
speaks to you?
Like a Carrick.
Okay, I could see that. There isn't any. Well, the turret's gone, isn't it? So that makes a lot of sense, and the entry point could be where the turret was there. I'd give you that.
The other alternative would be possibly the tail, but that looks like where the engines are. So
agreed. I think it'll be the front or the sides, basically. I think I totally agree with you where the engines are. You can see like little exhaust. I've got to move back to here. There's little exhaust ports here, so that definitely looks like some form of engine. I think it would kind of be here at some kind of door, almost like the door in the Valkyrie, you know, where the gun shoots from. And I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't still retain those little side door guns. And do they just modify the troop rooms so it's just troops, no vehicle this time? Be interesting to see where it goes. So I'm really interested to see where this goes, but I'm just surprised it's a Valkyrie variant. It's clearly was a Valkyrie at some point and it's been modified, but we'll obviously know more tomorrow. We've got a first-time chatter. Valley Core says, nah, this thing is massive. It's not a Redeemer replacement. I'm sorry, mate. It's not as big as you think it is. It's clearly smaller. You can tell just by the engines. It's smaller. It's small. It's like a Valkyrie, but a little smaller. Because look at the engines on it. It's smaller than the Valkyrie's engines.
When you compare that to the landing grid, and that's that circle in the center of the landing grid, that gives you an idea of its size.
I did have a picture somewhere. Hang on, see if I'm going to open it. I sent it. Did I send that to you or only to Grim? I think I just sent it to Grim. God, man, I hate Streamer, mate. I can't find anything. Because it hides everyone's names. All right, here it is. This one. So this is when I kind of took the Valkyrie and I put it on that grid, and you can kind of see there. That's roughly. I went, yeah, it's roughly a Valkyrie. It is a Valkyrie, and the thing we heard is that it is a variant of a known ship. So if it's a variant of a Valkyrie, that makes a lot of sense because it's about the same size. So again, not much to really what do you call it? Deduce or speculate on. We just got to wait 24, not even 24 hours now, or less than, and we'll know what this thing is. So. I will think.
To those even suggesting it's not a Valkyrie, variant, just above my head, you can see the first set of engines on the wing, and then that gap, and then the second set. So
yeah. Not only that, like you can see the lines on this thing, and the lines, like if I go look on the lines on the Valkyrie, they're almost in exactly the same place. Like I'm talking about these lines here. So obviously the grey skin's not the best skin for it there, but look, there's the same lines just there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're on a bit of hopium. If this comes out and it's bigger, I'll swallow my own words, but I'll be really surprised if it's not a Redeemer competitor from everything I've heard.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I just think looking at that landing grid, it's clearly Valkyrie size.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Valkyrie and Redeemer size even. Wouldn't you say that as well? Algared?
Sorry?
Would you say size? Redeemer size as well? Yeah. A little fatter than the Redeemer, but similar size. So yeah.
And similar crew, I'd imagine, so,
Yeah. I talked about this way too, just do you want to share your thoughts on that skin? Do you think it was a bit of a money grab, or is it genuine Black Friday type of skin?
Oh.
It is exclusive to those that own an Intrepid, by the way. You cannot buy the skin. Even though it's only $3 worth of skin, or $5 if you go to the maximum variant of the Intrepid skins, but you cannot buy it. It's only if you bought the ship this sale.
Yeah, I think then it's a Black Friday. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
They're always, if you look at CIG, they are always looking at ways to be more inventive, I suppose, and I think that's it. Everyone else is doing sales in Black Friday. Why not? Why not allow them?
I'm going to bet a lot of money that this thing's getting variants, by the way, and I'll go, not now, but off stream, remind me to go through it with you. There are panels underneath this thing that don't have anything coming out of them or anything. And it's like, yeah, that's like a cap for something else. I could be seeing things that aren't really there, but there's things that don't make sense when you look at the bottom of that thing. And I hadn't spent a lot of time looking at the bottom, and I realized that last night.
Yeah.
So yeah, have a look for yourselves if you want to see what I'm talking about. All right, back to the questions. Can't quite remember where I was up to, so hang on. This Ninja did that one. Question hack up. Yeah, this one here, Algared, is where we're up to. That one no.
All right.
No.
I can see them.
You can't see them?
I can see the one you've put the cat.
No. Damon Omnibus is the one that we're up to. So he says, Damon Omnibus in Tebra says, question, is hacking available for the MSR as it is for the Herald? If so, does the MSR just hold more data? It essentially is a bigger Herald, but it also does a lot more because it's a bit more of a generalist. But to say the hacking is stronger or weaker, we don't know at this point because they haven't really elaborated on enough of what hacking is. I think you'd kind of agree with that, Algared. It probably more than likely holds more though, doesn't it? Because it's a bigger ship.
We've had hints of the types of things you do in hacking in missions, but that's the tip of the iceberg. It's just scraping the surface. So yeah, we don't know what hacking involves, but we know it's part of the data running gameplay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I kind of agree with Algared on that we just don't have enough information to tell you with impunity exactly what it's going to be. But again, if the Herald speaks to you and the MSR speaks to you, you can obviously, it might tip you towards the MSR over other larger ships up that way. I have an MSR, but I don't have a Herald, so yeah, take that as you will. Monster Avery says, thinking about the Guardian, did they say it does have an interior or not? Kind of wondering how competitive it would be versus the glaive or heavier fighters. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have an interior. If I can bring up that video, Algared, I will need a second because I've got to find it. Where is it? Star Citizen. And it was that commercial thing that they did. I'm gonna have to go look for this.
Just while you're doing that, looking at the chat, they're talking the survivability of the Paladin, and I think the fact that it's got the name Paladin, I think that does hint that it's heavily armored as well. So, and it kind of looks chunky. So yeah, I would give it survivability.
Yeah, I think it's designed to cover people as it drops them off, basically. All have front heavy shield type of thing as it drops people off. Do you remember? Sorry, Algared. Do you remember where it was that they had the Guardian flying around for 4.0 thing? Which episode was that? Was that episode 1 or episode 2?
I cannot remember. But Leaks was someone saying that Leaks says it has a suit locker and bed.
Oh, interesting. Maybe it does have internals then. But there is a thing of it flying in one of these videos. I could goddamn find it. No, it's not going to let me find it. I just can't remember which one it was. One of them, it's flying around. Oh, this is it. Space Wolf thing, or Air Wolf, or whatever it was called. And you literally can see the pod off the Fury. So, in one of the shots, it's really, really clear. Well, there's a couple of them right there. There's one. So there's definitely some space behind it. I would say that this is more like a pod, don't you think, Algared? And see how you got the rotated joint there? So you rotate and it drops you out the back. So yeah, it totally could have an interior if that's the case. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think that kind of puts it on par with Mustang and other ones. I don't know if it's going to be a heavy fighter, because the only other thing is it's only got 2 guns, from what I can see in the shots here.
Long range fighter?
2 size 5s though, by the look of it.
2 size 5s are nothing to sneeze at. That's the same as a Glaive.
Might be an interceptor too, because I remember seeing in the files one of them had a QED. So it might be a bigger version of the Mantis, so to speak. And then that would put it into heavy fighter territory if it's got size 5 guns. So it could be a medium to heavy fighter, depending on where they really want to drop it. I'm thinking, well, you got like the Fender's got internals, the Vanguard series have got internals. Not a lot of the human crafts do. Mantis does though, interestingly enough. So,
and 2 size 5s on a fighter are not unheard of. With that's what the Glaive has as well. It's got a gauze cannon and a laser cannon as well, and they're both size 5.
Probably its closest competitor if you really round it out. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know if it's going to appeal to everyone. I think it's going to be expensive. I'm thinking, $250 domain again at least. Yeah, I don't know. What are you thinking, Algared, price-wise?
Heavy fighter range?
Yeah, which is $250-ish. So yeah.
We hope it's not, but
we can pray.
Realist, right?
Yeah. I believe it when I say it, type of thing. So, fortunate. Wop Sturkey says, question, are you going to show off the 900 eye skins? Yes. Algared, have you set yourself up to be able to do that in game yet while we're away?
No, I hadn't.
Slack.
I didn't. I know, absolute slackness.
Yeah.
Because after last night, we basically, went straight to bed.
Well, that was this morning, but yeah, close enough.
But yeah.
Well, if you want to try and do it now, it's up to you. Or you have to. Oh, you probably can't do both at the same time. I just realized. No, you won't be able to do both at the same time because you're already using OBS. So you did have to set it up beforehand.
Yep.
Yeah, and if I log in game and you log in game, then we're gonna lose all the question stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wish you'd set that up before.
We'll do it later and do another video.
Well, you can always just turn your camera off and go do it for a bit. Like I can go back into solo mode for a bit, and you could do that. It don't take you 10 minutes to set it up. You can still talk. You still be voice.
But me, I think it'd take 10 minutes probably.
We've had 3 questions already about it. It's up to you. They obviously want to see it. So.
All right, let's see if I can do it. I'll turn the camera off.
All right. Well, I'll go back into solo mode.
Yep.
Wait. If I go back to that one, and then I can just bye. And then I'll go back to solo mode. Right. Next question, I guess. Chris says, with crafting and insurance warranty now present at CitizenCon, do you craft yourself a tier 3 ship with the three tier 3 components and you blow it up? What do you get back? Assume insurance warranty paid. Well, you'd have to pay the warranty on it and the insurance on it. But as they said, they'll have things that can detect whether you destroyed it or not, and they'll have algorithms. He actually talked about that quite extensively. I believe in just one of the IEE shows he mentioned that, didn't he, Algared, as well?
He did. He talked about how many times someone's lost their ship. Is it their only ship?
Yep.
So there'd be the factors they'll be looking at in terms of insurance.
Yeah.
But years ago, they talked about insurance fraud being dealt with as well.
A-Never42 is asking in Twitch chat, how do I check if the CCU has the paint included? It would say in grey text underneath it. So you know where it says include Star Citizen download, lifetime insurance, that type of area there. It would also say such and such a paint, if it included a paint. For example, the ones from previous, probably open one and show you, actually, just give me a second. It might take me a hot minute to find one, but I will endeavor to find one for you to give you an example. Give me a second. Just make sure you guys are following. Yes, you are following along. Got my my guns done yesterday. Anyone that wants to get this done, the last one is an absolute nightmare. Phase 4. The way I did it was I got asked on the Discord, and someone basically it was Professor Decoy, so hats off to him. Fly to Magnus, pick up. What you want is 6 containers of 4 SCU of all of the 3 for the default quest, which is the Bexelite, Hydrogen, and Helium. The Bexelite's at Magnus jump point, and then you fly down to Seraphim. It has the Helium and the Hydrogen, so you pick them up. So in total, you'll have 72 SCU in 4 SCU boxes, 6 of each. You then take that to the Pyro jump point. You put it down the elevator, and then basically you pick up that quest and then pull up 1 box of each and then put it straight back down. It'll complete. And then every time that quest comes back up, you can even pick up the others and drop them off so it respawns it quicker. And basically after you've done that, you can just repeat the thing, pull them up, put them down, pull them up, put them down. And I was done. And now people are also saying that you have to do one of any other quest. You can't just do all of the same. So you could also just go do any one you want after that. But basically, I took 4.5 hours to do the first one. But then when I did the Bexelite one, I did the whole thing in 2 hours. So I did 5 of 6 in 2 hours and 1 of 4 in... 1 of 6 in 4.5. So it was much, much quicker for me. Right, on to skins. I'm trying to think of an example of a skin that is applied. It'll be a CCU, won't it, Algared? So let's have a look and see if I can find some upgrades. I'll load the old what do you call it here? The old add-on, so I can do it faster. Takes a little minute to load, but once it loads, it should definitely speed this up because I can just limit it to more things that I can limit it to on the upgrades. There we go. 100 per page. So I'm looking at so some of these ones like this won't be one, but some of those other ones like, nope, that won't be one. Ones that gave you things. So upgrade Prowler to the 300i upgrade these might be the ones that do it because they usually include the skin. I'm gonna have to go back and find the right one though. That won't be one. That won't be one. Taurus. Mercury Warbond. I'm pretty sure that that's one of them, but it's not listing them because of the mod. I'm going to have to turn the mod off. And then do it by hand, unfortunately, because it's not showing them. The other thing that tends to give it away is also the picture, but I'll see if I can find that as well. I'm starting to see why this would be confusing. Because I can tell you now, one of the ones that's really hard to tell is the Cutlass black, you know, that black and white with the gold one I've got, Algared?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything. It literally says nothing to imply that it is, but other than the name, because of the year it was made. So it does make it really hard to identify things now, which is why I think they've got a lot more serious with their naming. I'm going to be here for a while. Oh, so much Christmas shit from last year. Yeah, here we go. That's just the skin. Hawk to Spirit, Starfarer to Valkyrie, Vulture skin. A Prowler to Explorer. Technically, that would be one, wouldn't it, Algared? Because it's from AIE 2953, which is the same as the skin. Doesn't actually list it. Damn. Yeah, you're going to be up shit creek without a paddle, Nova A42. I thought it listed it down here, but I am wrong. So, yeah, good luck with that, mate. I guess you just have to know the year of the AIE and the ships that got the skin. That is the only way to tell. Yeah, that's bad.
Go on game and see if you can apply skins.
Wait, you're talking to me?
No, I'm suggesting that's what you do.
Well, why would you do that? You need to know if the CCU is legitimate when you buy it off somebody else.
Ah. Yeah, good point. Can't tell you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It makes it really difficult. Because I've got one in here. Let's see if I can find it. I'll put the mod back on. And yeah, that one's a very valuable CCU. But it's really, really hard to tell with it. You'll see when I bring it up. See what I mean about the Meridian skins? Different ships. All right, so Cutlass, it's a Gladius to Cutlass Black. I almost accidentally applied it the other day. Gladius to Cutlass. And the only way you can tell is because it's AIE 2995, so you've got the colors of the black, gold, and white. And that's it. You can't even really tell in the picture or anything. So I guess it's really the IAE year that tells you, and the ship. That's it. That's all you've got to go by, which is kind of scary. How you going on your end with the? You got the game up in OBS or not?
And melt a whole pile of little things to be able to afford the skin.
What?
So that's done.
Oh, so you've just got the skin so far. You don't actually have the game up. I thought you'd have the game up by now.
No, I'm now loading the game.
Right. Okay.
I told you it would take probably more than 5 minutes.
Wait. What did they say? They said, so Citizen is just saying, click apply upgrade to view the contents of the CCU. All right, let's try that. Apply upgrade. There we go. Okay, that's how you do it, Nova 42. Cutlass black paint, best in show. There we go. That's how you do it. All right, so they're geniuses. I've never really had to check, to be honest, so this is outside my warehouse, but yeah, that's awesome. So let's try that other one I had, which was 600i, and see if it does the same thing. Apply upgrade. Bang. There you go. Hope that covers it for you, Nova 42. We're going to have to add that to our repertoire, Algared. Apply upgrade on rare CCUs to see if you get paint. Okay. It is, well, we finished at, like, what time was it, Algared? 4:30 when we wrapped up? And I'm like, I'm tired, he's tired, and we just went, let's push it to 10 a.m. And it also allows us to test to see if more people turn up at a better time.
It was worse than that because you were actually thinking that it was Friday, not Saturday.
Yeah, that too.
And think, oh, we'll change it to tomorrow. We'll start later tomorrow. So
yeah. So yeah,
it is Saturday.
But there is more people. There is more people watching than usual. So maybe we'll do this later in the future. I don't know. Maybe it is a more convenient time. Let us know if it's a more convenient time for you guys or a worse time. Because I think we would have started about 6 a.m. New York time. So that I don't know if that's better or worse. I guess it means you're off work, so more people can turn up. I haven't really done the math on it. Or would you like it a little later? Because also you've got, that's New York. What about the guys in LA? They're still going to be, what, 3 hours behind? So it would have been 3 p.m. for them. So, yeah. We don't live in the States, so we're going to work that stuff out. Okay, thank you. Someone sent me a way forward cheat sheet. Yep. Thank you very much. I'll have a look at that later. Connor L says question. No, sorry. Chris says that was with the crafting thing. Connor says question. Don't you think people would buy more of the limited ships if you could get CCUs to them? Absolutely, but they don't want there to be more people. That's why they're limited.
Yeah.
That's why they're limited. They don't want you buying them, and that's why the Pioneer is still limited. Like I think out of any ship I've ever seen, the Pioneer's probably got the most reason to be limited of anything, and that's because like you really only need one per org, or maybe two. You know, if you're a really big org, you don't need heaps of them, do you, Algared?
No.
Right, how are you going on your end?
Actually, what I can do.
You got to do an OBS first. So you basically, once you got the game up to the menu, you go back to OBS, add a Windows capture to the game.
Yep. I do have OBS up, and OBS is running with Star Citizen.
All right, let me turn your camera on and see if what we can see. Hang on, I'll go to this one. Hey, there we go. We can see you.
Yep. And try and I've got a, because we need to be in the hangar to do it, and I've got an 890 jump. I'd need to go down because I'm at a station.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. We can watch you go down to a station while I take some questions and stuff.
Planet, down home.
Yeah. Down to Lawville. Yep. Yeah.
Where all Manhurst always goes.
Yep. Go for it. All right. I'll take a question while we watch you. So,
why is Algared such a crap pilot?
Yep. Yeah, that's what we need to do this more often because it's gonna make you go practice to be better. I think.
Come on, open that lift, you bugger.
Radiant TX says question: are both 600i variants getting the rework or only the Explorer? If both, did they show the 600i Touring redesign? Yes, they showed both of them and both of what they're getting and their whole redesign. But I do have to say that is more further down the line than most people expect, because until you see another Origin ship on the lineup, more than likely this thing's not getting worked on.
Yep. That'll be done with the family ships, I think.
Picture is mirrored. Yeah, I can fix that. Hold on. I got to go into studio mode, but I can fix that. Hold on.
I'm doing what I never like to do.
What's that? Yeah. Algared's weird. He doesn't like to run. So if you ever see Algared in the wild, basically chase him with a taser. That's what you need to do.
There it is.
Why can't I flip that for some reason? Filters. No. Transform. It's all grayed out. It won't let me flip your image, Algared. It's really weird. Because it's live, I'm going to turn it off, right? Let's see if we can flip it. Transform. No, it's all so weird. Why is it locked like that? Hell? I have no idea why that's flipped. Oh, unless I flipped it in one of these. No, it wouldn't have been flipped in one of those. It had to have been flipped back here. Don't know why it's flipped. Sorry, I can't fix it right now. Does it? I know it's probably bugging someone, but it just won't let me. It's all grayed out for some reason. I'll probably have to look at it after the show. So again, we're doing this on the fly. Mistakes happen, etc., etc. Yeah. What are you flying, Algared?
Just an arrow to get down on planet.
Okay. Studio mode. I guess camera filters. No. Two filters. Chroma key off. There we go. Chroma key. And then, that's probably why I couldn't. Can I flip it now? Nope. Order? Nope. Nope. Why can't I? That really is strange. I've never seen that. Must be just something to do with while we're live or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Anyway, while you're doing that, I'll take another question. So, Ark Ralph says, the war bond of the past days will come back, or we will see new ones at the end. So generally the ones that come up there, some of them have been coming at the end in previous years and others have not. And then there's been times where none of them came back. So again, it's been enough variation, it's really impossible to tell. Unfortunately with that one, Ark. Kishkin says, with 1.0 on the way, any info on when upgrades will get turned off and your thoughts on what that looks like. Historically, I thought it would be beta and we're moving to full release. They've never actually said when exactly they'll turn them off, just before the game releases, and I think they would have to give us a pretty big heads up. Like, let's be honest.
They always said they'd give us a heads up, so...
And quite honestly, they'll probably have some form of sale to go alongside with it, and I probably might even consider that they'll just open everything up. Like if it's the last time they're ever going to sell ships en masse, wouldn't you just remove all limitations and go have at it, go bananas, and so you can get probably what you want to get. Now, don't take that last part as literal, because that's just us guessing or me guessing. I don't want to put words in Algared's mouth, but we've long theorized that that's probably what they'll do, is have one big last hurrah. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Yep. Algared, did you warp or are you manually flying?
I'm flying down.
Warp. It's heaps quicker.
No.
There are people watching. Come on, bro.
They're watching. Let them watch.
Yeah. They don't want to watch snail. Paint dry. Come fly with Algared. Guy of boredom. Right. Sparkplug says, do you think the Polaris will go...
How much he likes to rush.
Do you think the Polaris will go hull limited after AIE? It was limited once, and then they turned it off again, didn't they, Algared?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it will. Do you? Do you think they'll make it hull limited?
I don't think so.
Only if they get too many of them, you know. So, Shimpasta says, regarding CIG's Master Modes update that was in the CIG show yesterday, do you think CIG was on the right path now with the flight modules? I still think they're building a lot of it. Like, how do you know what it's going to be if they haven't built it? Give them a chance to build it before you start complaining. Like,
I think what they've done with master modes is set the stage for the different operator modes. And it's something I think we theorized about early on too.
You've only got to be in the Polaris to realize that the old master modes won't, or the old flight model doesn't work for bigger ships. Like you know, we don't have armor, we don't have all these different weapon types. Basically, all the weapons were the same, all the components were the same. Like, when you start to bring all that in, you realize very quickly the old flight model just doesn't work. It wouldn't work. It's got to change quite a bit, even just at the basic level. So once you theorize that in and then start looking at other things like atmospheric flight and all the other things that were promised, like big ship combat, let's be honest, it's just been fighters for like the last 10 years. And anything that was put in, what was it balanced to? Okay, let's look at the Redeemer. It was balanced to be a fighter, or really sluggish, so the fighters had a chance. Same with the Ares. So yeah, it's silly. Very one truck mounted the way they're thinking, to be honest. Right, anything else, Algared? No, that's it.
No.
Okay. We're up to 19 crossbones. So I'm just gonna have to tick some of these off so we can keep up. London's Crossbone says, question X, any plans on showing your current own fleet someday and talking about current and future plans and thoughts for the development of your personal fleet? Yeah, I could do that over the summer, Australian summer. We could do another fix my fleet on mine. If Algared, you want to do that? Go over mine at this stage?
Yeah,
it hasn't really changed heaps. It's just really, I started building out a lot of CCU chains for ships that we'd speculated that existed, like the big gas collector, the big refinery. I think I've got about 6 of them going up towards Polaris level ships. It's, you know, I was like, I've got nothing else that I really want besides, I kind of wanted a Pioneer, but I've been really talking myself out of it because I can tell I'm going to be playing with our, well, how many have we got in our org, Algared? We must have at least 10. At least. Probably. Yeah, at least 10. So I just don't think it's a ship that everybody's going to need. And Algared and I suffer a little bit from Pokemon syndrome. Algared a lot more than me, obviously.
I suffer a lot from Pokemon syndrome.
But you know what I mean. I want one of
Yeah.
every ship in each type thing. So I think I'll probably just get a BLD as a kind of backup, and that'll probably do me. You know, I'm not going to personally need a Pioneer because an Org level building ship, a BLD will still be for you and four mates type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, so
I think most people won't need it. Won't need a Pioneer, but the BLD will be fine.
Exactly. Yeah. What are we up to? Chris says, which manufacturer is your favorite? All of the reasons considered: lore, gameplay, aesthetics, etc. Algared, I'll let you take this one first.
My favorite is Kruger.
I honestly thought you were going to say RSI then, but okay. Tell us.
My favorite is Kruger. My other favorites, close rivals, are RSI, Grey Cat, and Argo.
Okay. I honestly thought you were going to say RSI. I find this a really difficult question because I like almost every manufacturer in the game for different reasons, for the different aesthetics and stuff. Like I like Drake a little bit. I really like Anvil, but I don't like all the Anvil ships. Some of them I hate the look of, especially from the outside. But like the inside of the Carrack is totally amazing. But then there are parts of the outside of the Carrack that I just can't stand. Like they just look weird and bulbous and fat. So it's a real juxtaposition. Same thing with what Algared said. Like like some of the RSI stuff I really like, and other parts I don't. Like I like a lot of the like I really like the Mantis and the Mantis interior, but I don't like the ship. You know, and then I like the Connie as a ship, but I don't like the way it looks inside and out. I like the Polaris on the inside, but not the outside. Like just weird things like that. So,
I like. I've got to be honest. I like all the designers. I even bag out. No, I say I'm not a Drake lover, but I like Drake. The only ship I don't like is the Steel.
Well, see, I even like Origin ships. Like I like the 400i on the outside, the 890 jump on the outside. I don't mind the 400i on the inside, but I hate the 890 jump on the inside. This 600i is a bit like a ship that's sitting on a dinner plate that's bent. I find that a bit weird. Like, why has it got that thing under it that's kind of clamping it? But then there's other parts of the redesign that I really like as well. So there's no ship I've looked at and just said, that's perfect everywhere. You know, and I think that's a great thing about the art that they've done. It is subjective. And I don't think there is a perfect manufacturer, to be honest with you. Well, again, look what happened recently with Crusader. That kind of just proves my point in a nutshell. Some people that have been loving Crusader for years have been hating on that thing so hard, but I know some other people that really like the Intrepid's design and the asymmetry of it. So,
but I used to love Crusader as a manufacturer because of what they stood for and how all their profits were plowed into humanitarian stuff, and how the founder had been part of the the Brim Beltway and chased by the Mezzers and all that stuff, and how he wanted to be a politician and went into business because that's how he saw he could change for UEE.
Right.
And then we get Crusader becoming the producer of weapons of mass destruction after he'd seen his parents destroyed by weapons of mass destruction, admittedly under new management.
I'm going to try turning your camera off while I do a studio mode and see if I can flip it in studio. I'm wondering if it's because it's live, it won't let me flip it. So I'm trying to remove it from live. Nope. It does not want to let me flip you, Algared. I don't know why. What'd you do now?
Oh, just the terminal just timed out.
Okay.
Yeah, first world hour problems.
Yeah, so I'll let you explain that, Algared. Algared has so many ships that the terminal times out while he's scrolling.
Yep.
Insane. Algared, you can also drag it down though, you know that, right?
I have tried, and it sticks more often than not.
And unlock your scroll wheel and just scroll, like spin like crazy.
Now, if I do that now, I'll run past the ship.
No, probably. Alright, you just have to be quick. You got it? There we go.
Although, right now it's been done, I go back.
Yep.
Now we go into ships and apply paints.
Yep. Which one are you going to put on first, mate? You want to start? I think you should start with the blue and orange because that's probably the least favorite. Then the black and gold, and then the meridian. I think that's the order of price as well. Oh my god, I didn't even think of this. Oh god, this could go so bad if someone from the media sees this. This is the reason why Algared doesn't do a fix my fleet, because we don't want it getting out how badly he's spent money. But,
how badly my fleet is. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. And apologies that I can't flip it. I have tried. Yeah, no singing, please. Several times.
Liveries. Okay.
Yeah, blue and orange first, please.
Love the way it looks like a car.
Yeah.
Okay, that's done.
Yeah, you got to spawn it, bro.
Now we got to spawn it. Yes, this is going to take forever.
I've never seen it grey out like that with transforms. It's really freaking me out. I wonder if it's because this is locked. Lock that. Back to studio mode and go to camera 2.
And yes, I have lots of fighters in there and vehicles. I'm sorry.
Figured it out. Figured it out.
You know, we don't say sell your fighters, and you know, we say don't do as we do, or as we've done.
Yeah, learn from our mistakes, basically. So what it was because it's the scene was locked, I couldn't flip the camera, but when I unlocked the scene, I then went down. Anyway, not that you guys need to know that, but I fixed it. I mainly flip them so people don't look like rude assholes, because a lot of the time you get, no offense to Space Tomato, he doesn't do his camera straight on, right? So he'll be like this, and so it doesn't look like a rude asshole where he's turning away from everyone. I'll flip him, so then he looks like this, and he doesn't look like such a rude person.
He doesn't look like he's turning his back on us.
Yeah, which is why me and Algared try and have cameras straight on, because then it never has that problem. So, but not everyone can have that set up. So, I'm not a big fan of all the lights turning off, to be honest with you.
No,
and I really don't like the Safeland hangar in general. They're a lot darker than the AeroView ones. You need to scroll your mouse roll up. You're walking too slowly. Because you did all that scrolling down on your mouse wheel, it slowed it down. Now, probably best way to show these off, Algared, is just get in the captain's seat and do a seat where you can do a 3D view. I do notice it's got paint on the landing gear though there as well.
Yep.
So it's got some few extra little details, which is nice.
Which is always nice to see that they've done that.
Interesting. Really has got a lot of highlights around it as well. Around the Why couldn't they do this to the Polaris? This one seems a lot better done than the Polaris. The Polaris one really needs an update, in my opinion. There's not enough of the highlight color. It's just these like two little lines, one down each side, and that's it.
Come on, lift. Come on.
It's flashing. Doesn't that mean it's coming? Nope. You know you can look at the ground, right? And just click on
Yeah, I know. But it didn't do it when I looked at the ground.
Oh, okay. Tried right-clicking? Nope. Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
It's laggy.
Yeah.
Always when I try to rush.
I assume you're on live?
Hmm?
Yeah. Man, this looks really small now, doesn't it? This elevator, by comparison to what it should be. It's a
little personal one.
It really shows you how quickly the ships age. Like, just how quickly they've moved on and improved them all. Kind of crazy in that regard. So what did you name this one? Didn't you name this after a train or something from memory?
Yeah, the gun.
The gun, yeah.
So this is the thing that Execute hates, and I've got to agree with him. It's a narrow stairwell. Like, how can I have my trophy on my side?
It's also the gap on the middle staircase here on the right. Like, how thin is that gap? It's just like, that's not luxury at all. It's like 1 step gap. Like, that's stupid.
You'd expect a landing there. So
yeah. And my suggestion was just not have dual staircases, make them asymmetrical, and just have one big one that goes right around the outside or something.
One big spiral that goes up and gives you a landing. And,
or what ship would it be to animate the staircase? You know, so it comes out and then disappears when you're not walking on it. They'd have the tech, and wouldn't that not be the most luxurious thing that you could have? This staircase that just appears out of nowhere as you walk down it, and then as you're walking down it, they go back into the wall. Like, gives you the illusion of no space. Oof. Camera jank. Right, hold Z and swing around. There we go. Not bad, not bad. All right,
I've got to admit, it looks better than I thought it would.
Better than the standard, or what's your initial impression?
In terms of the blue and red, it looks better than I thought it would.
Blue and orange, but close enough. I get what you mean. Yeah.
I do like the highlights on the landing gear, but
yeah, it's definitely like the racing G12R in my book. So yeah. All right. Well, while you take that back down and swap it over to the next one, I'll do another question. All right.
And sadly, it's wiped out the name.
Yep. No, you'll probably find the name is there in a different color or something. They'll fix it later. It's fine. Because one of the things I noticed about the Intrepid skin is the serial number was actually inverted on one of the other parts. So they had on one of them, it's on a blue part, and it's blue with black text, and on another part, it's black with blue text. So I found that really interesting. We're up to Z Pilot, who says, do you think we will get another fueling ship with 4.0? No, I don't think we'll get one until, well, we could, but like not with 4.0. 4.0 is clearly the Guardian. We will get one eventually that'll definitely rival the Starfarer, but we've also got to get the other part of the Starfarer, which is the gas collection stuff as well. So whether or not they're the same thing or they're two separate entities, we'll have to kind of wait and see. But yeah, definitely they're coming down the line, and they kind of confirmed that with liquid solids and gases at CitizenCon. We'd long theorized liquid solids and gases, but it was nice to have it. Well, we didn't actually have gases shown on the slides. We had solids and what do we have? Solids and liquids, I think. Yeah, and someone, another developer confirmed to us later, gases were a thing. So yeah,
wasn't that?
Don't say their name. Don't say their name. Yep.
Okay.
Which Officer Rondog question: when do you think we will see the Apollo? I would say it's gone into production via the Yellow Silhouette video. Do you reckon we'll see it in the next 12 months? I reckon the next 12 months is pretty good. Considering it kicked off a year ago, I think the next 12 months is a pretty safe bet. Like, and they told me and you 18 months production time. So if it went into last December, it's up to 12 months of production time. So Invictus would be possible.
Yeah, that was the thing that I think one of the things that I found surprising. Like, we're asking about the Drake capital ship or Corvette.
Yeah.
And John Crew basically said, well, when I was asked that question, the Ironclad was already in
production.
Had already been decided. We already knew we were doing it. So
yeah, that's how we knew it was coming.
And that's why he gave a smirk, because
he already knew.
Big, large Drake ship was on its way.
Yeah. Citizen Ninja, will you do a day before poll of the price prediction on tomorrow's Anvil ship release and concept? Yeah, we can do that. Why not? Just trying to think how low to how high we should go. 250 to 450 Algared. Do you reckon that's fair? Every $50 increments. I know it's not going to be spot on, but that's probably the closest we can do without doing too many options. So give me a minute and I'll do that now for you. Poll. No, shit. It's not poll. That's what it is on Twitch. I'm doing it backwards. Engage. Poll. There we go. Price of Paladin. Question mark. We will go 250, 300. I'm gonna put a dollar sign so I look professional. Hold on. 250, 300. Add options.
And of course, I've got to wait for it to be fully stored.
Yeah. Always fun with that extra large hanger. Add option, we're up to 400. And then, I can't do more than 4. 250 to 400 is as far as I can go. I think I'm gonna drop the 250 actually, to be honest with you, and go to 450 instead. Move those all up. 1, 2, $2, 400 and 450. All right, so that's that one underway, and I'll do Twitch now as well. Poll.
Which one was the rich people's one? That was the
the top one is the rich one, the expensive one. So you want the middle one. Price of Paladin. And then we'll go, I can do more options on here. So I'm going to go 250. Yeah, come on, YouTube. Allow me to do one more option. 300, 350, 400, 450. All right. So, and poll started on Twitch as well. 350 people are thinking already on the YouTubes. What are they thinking on the... They're not answering on Twitch. They're all dead. They just died. Yep. Oh, all right. Now they're coming in at 350 as well. So everyone's thinking 350. Okay, interesting. But basically, redeemer pricing. I think that's a fair bet.
Yep. So CIG are looking at this and saying, right, that's what they want. Awesome.
Yep. So I think that's the plan, to get some people off the redeemer. We'll have to wait and see what the...
Yeah, but I think that might be a twofold thing. Put another ship that's comparable to... breaks up that redeemer's 40% kill rate.
Yeah.
I think when they did the last graphic, it was the redeemer and then the Connie, but the Connie had been around so many more years. So...
I don't think they think of you, first time chatter, that robot guy 43. They don't think of, yeah, let's make a whole new ship so people can get cheaper war bonds. I don't think that's how it works somehow. But good luck to you. I hope it does land where you want it to land. I think they're thinking of trying to make a new ships and fix other problems, which is clearly what this thing's tailored as. The devs that I've spoken to have basically all highlighted that it's tailored squarely at the redeemer. So we'll have to wait and see. Go ahead, Algared.
The other thing you look at is, like, if a ship is...
Show us those legs. Sorry, Algared, show us the legs just so we compare them to the other legs. No, the legs at the front. Go back to the front, please. Yep, and in first person.
Oh, a bit of gold trim there.
Yeah, first person. You're in third person. Go back to first, please. So exactly the same paint job, just different colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I do like the gold trim there.
Yeah, you would. I would too. Yeah. I'll be honest. For me, it's not going to be the blue or orange. It's either going to be this one or the Meridian. And I don't think you'll get the Meridian until you go out in the sun, to be honest. So that's why I got you to do it last, because I'm going to get you to fly it out there and fly it out into the sun somewhere so we can see it, because I think that's where it's really going to shine. Same with gold. You know, the golds, how they get that cool speckle, but it's going to be the whole thing. And that's why the Meridians look so cool. Anyway, Nova A42 says, does the Ironclad have bars over the cargo hold where the doors are open? I don't think it will, but it seems there'll be an idea out. The roof just closes, mate. I think I don't quite understand the question about bars. I don't know what you mean by that. Does the Ironclad have bars over the cargo hold where the doors are open? I don't think it will, but it seems to be an idea that is out there. Bars over the...
I'm not sure what he means by bars.
No, I don't understand what he means by bars either. Unless he's talking about like an air shield or something like that to block it. But honestly, the door opening and closing is enough. It'll be fine. Yeah, that's... a bit confused by that one.
If they stick to what they originally said about shields, being power hungry, which is why air shields were only on space stations and capital ships, I wouldn't expect the Ironclad to have shields or have air shields. Like, I was surprised that the air shields were on the Prowler, to be honest.
Well, they're meant to be on the Cutlass too eventually, is rumours I heard, but they would have done it by now, surely, if it was going to be a thing. So, well, look how quickly they put them on the Polaris. So I just don't understand why. Well, maybe the next time they rework it, I got no idea, but yeah.
Well, when you also consider that it was always...
Oh, that is nice. It's got a nice shine to it. Even on the black is quite nice. Tell us down the side, mate, if you can. Like that engine area where the gold is there. Oh, can you go a bit lower? So it goes up close. Yeah, there we go. That's what I want to see. Yeah, see, that's nice. I like that gold kind of stripe, and the little highlights on the little engine part there are really nice as well.
I do like that stripe too.
Yeah. A little bit off-angled. It kind of... Do you know what the stripe reminds me of? The 400i. It's almost the similar line as the 400i. You know what I mean? And you can see that there are stylings in the front nose there of the 400i as well. It's interesting. This definitely inspired the 400i in some form.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, last one when you're ready, mate.
Yep.
I'll do the next question. HK47, do you think the Intrepid could possibly have a higher potential at tier 5 than other starter competitors with a chance of a size 5 gun and maybe another shield at later tiers? I don't think it can fit a size 5 gun because of the shield that goes around. There's this little thing that goes around the outside. It's hard to explain where it mounts to the ship. And when we looked at it, I went, that's too small. This was designed for a size 4, not a size. And that's why all the content creators are saying that, because you could see it when it was first had the size 3. It's like, this is way too small. This was designed for a size 4. But now you look at the size 4, it fits so snugly. I don't think it is meant to have a size 5. Could they have a variant that has another gun on it? Absolutely, and that's what part of the panels I was looking at. There's actually these panels on the bottom that it looks like there could be some other places for guns on that thing. So maybe the bounty hunter variant has additional guns. If they have a bounty hunter variant at all, or a combat variant, or whatever they possibly have. I think the original plan was like an Ares variant that just has the size 4, and this only has size 3s. And they just decided to go single gun. What they should have done is had a size 3 and some extra guns, literally put it on par with the Avenger type of thing, or in that ballpark. But they just for some reason they decided to go the single side 4. We will never know, or maybe we will in time, years down the track, what their plans were. But it's clearly got like, if it doesn't have variants, I will be mega surprised. I think you would agree with me on that one, Algared. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I do have a quick question for the audience. Is the game sounds low enough?
No, we can't hear it at all.
Good.
Yeah, we haven't had any sound at all.
Good.
But I've got music playing anyway, so.
All right. I did have the game sounds put right down when I was playing last night. So
now we've talked way too much, and I've missed what the poll was on Twitch because it disappears. It only stays up for 30 seconds, so if you're not aware, it disappears. But 34% on, like, I've end the poll here. Hang on YouTube. 34% on YouTube said. Oh, it was between 400. So 18% said, sorry, 34% said 400, 33% said 350. So really close. So $350 to $400, 18 at 450, and 13 at 300. So I think we're looking at 350 to 400. I'd agree with them on that. I think it's going to be higher than the Redeemer. I would hope so, because they want people to get off the Redeemer. I think that's a part of it. But the other way, they could just be completely evil and put it under the Redeemer, like $325 by $5. That's all they would have to do, and you have to buy the whole thing. And I definitely think there'll be some skins for this thing as well to entice you over as well. So yeah, yeah. But in regards to the Intrepid Algared, are you variants? Yes or no? You kind of sidestep this question. Yeah.
I think it's a reasonable idea. I haven't really looked at the Intrepid, so I can't really comment.
We'll go over it later then.
But I would think that
based
the
on
size of the gun would be something that have considered, like the Connie
Well, you don't even have to base it on the
had.
Intrepid. You can just base it on the Pisces and the Cutter having variants over the last few years.
But in terms of the gun, like the Connie used to have size 3 guns on its turrets, and they were changed way back when because the size 3s looked too big. The Badger repeaters, but the Panthers just looked too big on those turrets. So I could see that being a factor that brings it down to size 4. But
all right, Phallic says, I follow the project since around 2013 or 14, but I can't understand when people question it. I don't know the context. So that wasn't tailored. That wasn't tailored at us. That was just one that got picked up. Radium TX says, question, is the Paladin a must buy? If not, what would make it so? It's a must buy on an individual level, right? It's only a must buy if it is the perfect ship, and there is no perfect ship. Right? Every ship has strengths and weaknesses. That is the design philosophy of a good ship, right? It's a rock, paper, scissors approach. So if it's a must buy, it's a must buy for you.
For some people it'll be a perfect ship. For other people it won't be.
Yeah. Some people don't like combat, as an example. Like they like the utility stuff. So, you know, a new mining ship comes out and they jump on it because they've got every mining ship in the game. It speaks to the individual, not as a whole. Mrs. Aries? I don't know how to say that. Question, do you think that the top turret is on rails and will be able to switch from top to... Ooh, that's a really good question. It did almost look like it was on rails.
Could it have the Scorpius treatment?
But if I just... Sorry, I'm just going to flitch over real quick while that's doing it. The problem is if it comes back here, what is it shooting at? I think it can probably just go on rails from the back to the front, maybe. But again, that's a turret, so it wouldn't. Yeah.
Given it's a turret, probably not.
Well, again, could it be the first turret that's on rails? That would be interesting. What if that's the thing? Like so it could just go to the back or to the front. But what advantage do you get on that? Not a lot, because it's still on the top. I guess you can shoot more towards the back or more towards the front. It does, I must admit, it does look like there's a rail up there. Even in the front shot, if I can go... Oh, I closed the front one.
I have a feeling the other plate was the fancy one.
Wait, hang on. Go to the front one. See, it almost looks like it's got a rail there too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much it needs it, to be honest. I think that... Yeah, I don't think it really needs it. So...
You're still showing the...
Am I on the wrong screen, am I? No, I'm on the right screen.
Showing me gameplay, I think.
Nope. No, I'm not. It's all fine. I just double-checked it. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But I think this is not the fancy one, because the front strut doesn't have gold trim, whereas the other one did.
Can you show us the front...
I was.
Yeah, sorry, but... Well, that's why I've got to come back, because we couldn't see. So what, is it just all silver from what you can... Yeah, so there's no...
Whereas the other one had gold trim on the...
Yeah, it would have been... Oh, it's got a little bit of black where the gold was.
So so the gold was here on the other one. So...
Yeah, the ring... Well, see those two big ring bits? They were gold on the other one, and they were orange on the one before that. So it's just... Yeah, it's just silver and... I'll have to see it outside in the sun before I can make final comment, but... Yeah... Might lose points for that. I do know some of the other Meridian ones had gold parts on them as well. Like the 400i one had some gold parts on it, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. All right. Nove 42. Any idea how big it is? I assume you're talking about the other dropship Paladin thing. I'm thinking Valkyrie size, basically, so that hopefully that answers your question. But that's out of context. Remember to ask your questions in context, or if we come to them later, that's what's happened.
Sometimes we don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll go back to that comment that said, I don't understand why people bag out the game. I agree. I've never understood why people bag out the...
He never said anything about the game. You're just assuming that. Again, there's no context. It just says, I follow the project since 2013, 2014, but I can't understand where people question it.
Yeah.
I guess that implies that they are bagging the game. Yeah, I'll give you that then. I just think people don't understand game development, believe it or not. They don't. And this has been a transparent project from the get-go. And then on top of that, being an MMO and knowing how long it took them to make Grand Theft Auto 6, you've got, and Grand Theft Auto 6 ironically has a lot of parallels with Star Citizen. They have a single player game and they have Grand Theft Auto Online, a multiplayer game. What does that remind you of? You know, like, and they've taken almost 9 years and they had 1,400 people from the get-go. We're at what, 10, 11 years, and we started with 8 people in a garage and have now gone to 1,400. So,
yeah. Come on.
Right, next question. Lunix Oz says, I acquired too many ships over the time, Cat, Aquila, etc. I think I'm melting them all and getting the Endeavor Master set. I'm just used to a Reliant and Hull B and Endeavor as a base. What do you think? Wouldn't ever buy the Master set. It's all, you're paying for all modules and you essentially need like 3 or 4 Endeavors to just use every single module. It's not worth it. You're better off just to get 1 or 2 Endeavors if you really like the Endeavor that much and earn the modules in game. But realistically, 1 Endeavor is all you're probably going to need, unless every single kind of module speaks to you and you can at least build 2 variants that you like and then maybe get a second one. You know, so it's a bit excessive. You got to remember it's going to end up being a capital ship, so it's going to be fairly big. You're going to need crew for it, all that type of thing, or at least going to have to use Friend Finder to find people or NPCs. I would also add that the Reliant is not the best ship at the moment, and if you're going to get a Hull B, you probably have got enough to cover you. I'd probably look at another starter ship instead of the Reliant. And there are many out there, the Cutter, the Avenger, or one that speaks to you. But yeah, not the Reliant's in such a bad place. I don't think I can ever recommend the Reliant. Can you, Algared, at all?
I probably wouldn't. Yeah. And like you said, I probably wouldn't recommend the Master set because, yes, it gets you LTI, but you're paying so much extra money for all of those modules, and most of the modules are going to be under their fighter price.
And like LTI is not
if they triple in price.
LTI
most of the modules are still under 100.
Hang on, LTI is not a problem on the Endeavor either, because you can always just get a LTI token and upgrade. So, and not to mention war bonds.
Yeah. I would, in sale, I'd buy a CCU to the, or an upgrade to the Endeavor from
Gemini. Yeah, just sit on it. Just sit on it. Yep.
And then build your CCU chain.
Yep, I'd agree with that. Radium TX's question: do you believe the F7C Mark II tracker and Ghost will be worth buying? They're fighters. We don't really ever recommend fighters. They're really kind of expensive. I think the only thing that they've ever had kind of going for them in the recent years is what came out at CitizenCon, is that you cannot buy military ships in game. They have to be crafted. But as soon as some other player can craft them, he'll be selling them to you, and he'll probably even sell them to you cheaper than the stores can. Buy them. So, or at least, you know, whatever, because otherwise you'll just buy, if he rips you off, you'll just buy it from the shop anyway. So yeah, fighters are just really easy to earn in game if you've got a ship bigger than them. You just earn down to them, and again, because you can't buy them, players will be fighting over each other to craft them. So you know, initially they'll be a little bit more difficult to get, but you know, give it 6 months and then anyone will be able to, you'll be able to get one off anyone. They'll have some kind of market eBay thing up that you can probably buy them from people, and they'll deliver them to your house. You know, so, and they have mentioned markets just like they have in other MMOs. So,
yeah.
JD Wenzel says, question: an oldie but a goodie. Which role will the 200i and 500 series going to be? Algared, I'll let you take that one.
Oh, what was the question?
200i, 500i. What they're going to do?
200i, 500i. I have no idea.
No one cares. Officially from Algared.
That's right. Oh. That's right. Don't care.
They could go any way they want to go with them, and let's be honest. I said that earlier today. Shop ships are probably going to be a thing. I'd assume the 200i is a shop ship. Maybe the 500i is as well. You know, a two shop or a 5 shop or something like that, and that might be the 2 or the 5 part. Again, we'll have to wait and see. All right, Algared, you're taking off fire.
hopefully.
You can stay, but you can never. You can come, but you can never leave.
That's only if you signed a contract.
Yeah. Chris says, question, follow up on the insurance question regarding the tier 3 ship loss. I mean, if you lost the tier 3 ship, does the insurance give you back a tier 3 ship or a 0 tier ship? I think there'll be different insurance types.
Yeah.
So it depends how much you're prepared to pay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Chris once used to talk about the insurance for the base ship, right? So they talk about the insurance is on the ship that you bought. But if there's other stuff, I could see them doing, money sinks and extras, buy the extras. And they seem to talk about that at SitCon this year. So.
Hold down space so you're going to run out of time and the thing's going to close. Oh my god, that thing is like so slow. Hold space and press shift. So it boosts.
I was doing that. Are the engines on?
No, they're not. Oh my god.
Come on, turn on.
Just press I. I for igloo. There we go. Space and shift. There we go. It's like it doesn't want to take off.
It's like it doesn't want to take off.
Turn off the engines on again. So press I and then press I again. It's a little bug in this one. Sometimes turning off and on again does work. No, you don't need to turn the ship off, just the engines.
That sounded like engines.
Now you're going to turn them on again because you turned them off. So I again. There we go, they're on. Now go, take off. Yep. And I told you. Now you got to call for thing again.
They hate me.
I think your new name is going to be Speedy Gonzalez. Or what was the slower guy's name?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, Chris says, following up, I know we did that one. Jizzy Ninja says, are there any paints that change the interior colors? Could there be? They did a test with the 300i series, didn't they, Algared?
They did.
And that's the only ones that kind of do that, but that's a test. They do want to kind of do that stuff in the future. So, yeah, you'll probably find that there are interior paints and exterior paints in the future. Arkraf says, did they mention the question about the Warbond of the week at the end of the expo? Yes, that'll definitely happen. Did they mention the question about... Yes, we did, Arch. You missed it. They don't generally do them repeated, but then other times they have. So I've got precedents for both, so I can't tell you what's going to happen because the only thing that CIG are consistent on is that they're inconsistent. So, yeah. Get some more questions. Get some more questions in, guys, because there's only about 5-6 questions left, and we're running out. So if you want to get your question in, now is the time.
You're going through them so fast. There's no discussion. That's because I'm playing the game. It's the old problem we had previously.
Yeah. Shempasa says, did the Pioneer get an update on the Hollow Viewer? Don't know. I didn't look. You tell me. Shempasta did it? I didn't actually go have a look. All right, give us a 3D view, Algared. Give us a big spin around. Now you're up in the sun. Oh, I like that. Nice and soft. Oh, yeah. That's where it's at.
I still like the gold, but
no,
on this is good.
Yeah. Nah, I honestly thought it was going to be the black and gold, but I prefer this. Just with the curves and the softness that it gives us, that's delicious. Oh.
Licorice.
No one likes fucking licorice. That's disgusting. Yuck. But
licorice is great.
No, it's gross. My mum loves it. I hate it. It's aniseed.
Because you're not normal.
Well, if that's normal, I don't want to be normal. Who wants to be normal? Normal is boring. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, I like that a lot. Nice. And I do like well, at least you got a couple of choices now where before we had none.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. And again,
one of the things we complained about.
Again, it looks like none of them are concierge, none of them are limited, so it looks like they're going to be on the store pretty much permanently, which is a good thing. But again, just in case, You've got multiple days of the sale. Buy one, melt it. Buy one, melt it. Buy one, melt it. There's all three. You got more than 3 days left, and basically you can go buy the one that you like after that, and essentially have one in buyback, which is probably what I'll end up doing, buying a bunch of them and at least having one of each in buyback for myself. If I ever get it, just for the option, if I want to get an 890 jump. But again, the ship's so limited, I don't think they're going to limit the skins in any single way by the look of it. Because usually they have a concierge thing, don't they, Algared? But they don't even have a concierge one. Surprised they weren't all concierge, honestly.
Yeah.
What are we up to? Ark Ralph says, I have a wild thought. What if the Guardian's images are 2 different ships? The flying one in the Guardian and the landed one is a variant of the Valkyrie. Wasn't that a mention of 2 ships? Yeah, it could be. It could be that they are 2 separate ships. Absolutely. But I'm at the point now where Algared will tell you as well. When we do this speculation stuff, it starts to cook your brain, and we get to about 95%, and then we just kind of stop, because otherwise we go into these places that we call the weeds, and trying to get that last 5% is like trying to find the first 95%. It's twice as much work, or way more work, 10 times as much work, but you don't really get anywhere. So we just kind of let it go after a bit. You can only go so far, and then you just drop it. So anything new that turns up, like today, or like it doesn't cover a tank, I'm like, oh, cool. But I don't push it any further because we just burn ourselves. Yeah, and we just burn ourselves out too. That's the other part, especially this time of the year. So yeah. All right, Algared, you meant to fly it like you stole it.
No, you're not.
Look at him.
When you own it.
Old man Hurston for a reason. Slow and old. Come on. Drive it like you've stole it. Come on. Anyway. All right. Citizen Ninja, down to 5 questions left. Did you see the Nocturne paint got added in the $5 Intrepid upgrade? It can be bought using a store credit and then added as an item in a CCU chain without even owning Intrepid. Are you serious? Yeah, that takes it down a whole notch for me if that's true. Hang on, let's go look at this. Let's go to the shop. I'm gonna have to flip you guys over to the browser. Let's go to the shop, pledge store, upgrades. When it comes up, we're gonna go other upgrades, We'll go all ships. We'll go over here and we'll type Intrepid. No, Intrepid. I gotta learn to spell again. Does it say includes? Say anything about including it? And it'd probably only be just for the sale. Let's have a look. So let's go cutter. 100 right? Add to cart. And then we go look at cart. And does it say anything about includes paint?
You piece of peachy poo.
Oblivion. Quite ready. It doesn't say anything. Oblivion, Fusion. I can't see any. You'd need to show me a picture, because there's no way here I can duplicate that. It's not coming up on my end, mate. Who said that? Citizen Ninja. Did you see the Nocturne paint got added to the $5 Intrepid CCU? Is there a CCU that like a special CCU that I can't see on the pledge store or something? Down here. Upgrade today. Nope. Yeah, you'll have to show me that Nocturne, because I don't see it, mate. Oh, sorry, Citizen Ninja. I just don't see it, mate. It doesn't show up there, but when you go to apply... Oh, well, I'm not going to buy one just to show it. Oh, wait, maybe I can buy one with credit. Hold on. What's the $5? All right, so we go add to cart. Gonna just flip off here for a second so I don't dox myself as I usually do. Then I go to the cart. Then I... Which one's the more expensive one? That one. Delete that one. Confirm. Then $5. Add. Continue. Doxing myself. Continue. Yep, I agree to your terms of hostility and violence. Continue, go to my hangar, and we now go back to this, and you guys should be back into looking at me. All right, this is our upgrade here. Ursi Medevac to Intrepid. You fucking lied to me. I'm disappointed. You lied to me. Hit me right in the feels. Son of a bitch. I don't know. I think that's definitive proof. Unless I've mistaken what you're saying. You click apply. Okay, you're right. I do need to do that thing. Right, apply. Intrepid paint. Okay. You redeem yourself. You didn't lie to me. Okay. You're forgiven for now. But next time. Maybe not. We'll see. All right, Algared, how are you doing out there? Are you back in the thing yet?
Ready for you, guy. You can switch it back over.
All right. Well, you need to turn your game off. You need to go back into into the thing and do the thing. Into OBS and then change it back. Well, that's interesting to know. We can essentially save this for future generations if we really want that skin. How valuable would that skin be off a starter ship? I don't think it'd be that valuable unless you think any different, Algared.
And you can put my
I'm doing that. I'm doing all that miles ahead of you. Just got to do it as quick as I can in studio mode, and then go back to that one, and then out of studio mode. Bang, done. Right, you're back.
Yay!
Now I gotta wait. Now I gotta wait 24 hours to melt this shit, though. So that's fine. I should have enough credit. Might be a problem. All right, we're down to what time was it? We're only 2 hours in, and we're almost out of questions. This is gonna be the quickest stream of all time. Duvels says, any thoughts on how the blades will be implemented? I'm assuming he's talking about blades on the glaive.
No, he's talking about the AI blades.
Or is he talking about the new katana blades that were shown off in the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why context is a beautiful thing. Can we talk about context for a minute, Algared? Would that be... That's what we should talk about. We should school this mofo on context.
Well, you know, I think the blades on the scythe and the glaive are just great weapons for taking off. You know, remember we were talking about when you're fighting large ships, you've got to actually peel away the defenses. That's what the glaive does. And the scythe does. They slice in and they literally slice off those turrets. Nice, nasty little peckers.
Yeah, if you can hit the right thing, glaives are going to be quite deadly. Any thoughts on how blades will be implemented? Well, blades will just be a computer component. So you're giving up a bit of your computering essentially to get turrets to fire, but that kind of shows why NPCs will be better because you're not giving up that computer stuff. You know, but in some ships you might not just have the choice because of life support. Balance, it's a beautiful thing. So yeah. We're up to Primal Moz, who says, do you think that they will add an option in the terminal so picking only makes types or others? So Algared and I have talked about this. We wanted manufacturer, we wanted ship. What was the other ones become? Ship size, alphabetical, like even just a search box so you could type in the name of the ship and it.
I would just love it to be by even manufacturer.
Which we know is in there because these things are already in the shop. You can type in the start of something in the shop. So you can just type 890, hit enter, and it brings up the 890 jump.
I would love that type of quality of life for whales like me.
Type in origin and it brings up every origin ship. You know, and the other thing is, why, if they're already grouped by manufacturer, why can't you open and close the manufacturer tab? So you just have all the ships. So you start with manufacturer, scroll down, pop it open, and then, like, say, for example, Origin or Drake, you go Drake, and it goes boop, and every single Drake ship you own is right there. Simple as. Because then you've only got, what, 8 or 9 or more manufacturers? That's a pretty standardized size list. And then expand it. You know, you're probably going to be in the 8 or 9 for some people with really big fleets, and then it just makes it quicker to get to what you're looking for. I think we'll get it eventually. It'll be a quality of life thing, but I don't think it's a huge priority.
100%. It's a quality of life thing.
Yep.
But it's not essential for playing the game. I can still play the game. It's annoying. It's frustrating.
Yep.
But it's not necessary.
Maybe if they, you know, it'd be really cool is if once a year at Christmas they did we could put in all the things that we would want, and they kind of get upvoted somewhere where you can actually have upvoting and downvoting. I don't know, a straw poll would work because you can't do it on a spectrum because there's no downvoting. But essentially, they take the top 10, do another final vote, and then we all vote on it, and that top one they implement. As long as it's not too big and crazy and out there and weird, like something that would just totally take them forever. But like that's a small little feature someone could spend a couple of days and fix, couldn't they?
Even if they did it as 10 features.
Or 10 quality of life improvements.
10 quality of life improvements they were willing to do, what ones you've gone, and let us vote.
Yeah.
Not even...
But you need downvoting arrows or it's never going to work. That's why Spectrum doesn't work right now. So.
But they choose, even if they chose the 10 things that they were looking at doing.
Oh, and then we vote. Now I
vote.
understand. Yeah, now I understand. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one. 10 that they think should be implemented. But that's not good enough. I think we need to do the 10 and then they do the vote. Then they pick one of the 10. Because, again, they're just going to pick ones that they want to do, and how do they know what we want? There's too many to pick. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Citizen Ninja already did that. So we're down the last two questions. Wolf Sense question: can someone advise what the cheapest way to pick up a Polaris is now that the war bond price has gone up? Do I have to look for third-party sellers? I just realized the bot is closed, so I'm gonna have to open it again. That might be why we have not enough questions. Bring a whole bunch of yeah, probably. That's probably why there's no questions. The bot is not running. Hang on, try again. I don't know what's going on there. Ready? All right, try again and start. All right, see if any questions come in. They'll probably pile in a minute. But I do know that I held on to some upgrades. I know you held on to some upgrades as well, Algared. So yeah, they're going to be people that are going to be taking advantage of the fact that it's gone up. That's a really common tactic to do. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to pay for it, or have a friend that's willing to part with them, because that's just a part of being around for longer.
Yeah, and when you consider it, you know, some of those upgrades, like the upgrades we've got, that we, you know, the ones I got because I was looking to keep them for myself.
Well, now at least we've got a ship to upgrade off from the A2. You can go from the A2 to the Polaris. Yeah, it does make it now the most expensive ship that you can essentially upgrade to. I don't think you'll get it for those prices of 425 to, was it 425, 435 the last couple of years we got it down to. So I'm expecting maybe at least original pricing with Warbond CCUs at the end of the sale. So back down to 700, 750, somewhere in there. But I don't think I'll be able to get it that like down to 400 again. No way.
Well, it depends. If you use the war bonds we had to it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for a normal person.
Normal person.
On the day that has never brought it from the get-go, just the CCUs available on that day, which is a guide I normally do. So I'll probably do it to the Polaris, and I'll probably do one to the Paladin. So show people the cheapest they can get the Paladin for, and the cheapest they can get the Polaris for.
Yeah.
But I'm
no, and unfortunately, as you were saying, unless you got a friend, it's so third person site, and you pay for that privilege of and it's just a matter of how much profit that person's trying to make off it.
The status quo seems to be at the moment on the grey market, they'll go 50-50. So if they save $300, they will make 150 and you will save 150. So say the ship was 700 and they got it down to 400, you'd buy it off them for 550, and that would also save you 150. And that's pretty fair. I think that's a pretty good compromise. Yeah. You save 150 and they make 150. That I think that's so generous compared to what real shops would do. They'd go, yeah, I'll take $5 off the top, and that's it. Yeah, we're $5 cheaper than buying a Polaris full price.
Yeah, it's certainly not what we've seen on the grey market in the past with certain ships like The F7A going for absorbent amounts. The Scythe going for 1,000. The
Keep going.
Going for.
I think the last time I saw a Scythe, it was like $5,000. Why do you reckon I want one of yours so badly?
Yeah.
Well,
why do you think you're not getting one?
He's got 2 of them because they're both in packs. I'm like, you can't get them out.
No, one's not in a pack. It's just one that I can't gift.
You can sell it to me for $1 when we get in game. Anyway,
no.
Steve Martin.
Will Sawyer, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Will Sawyer. My bad. Question: do you think that we will get an alien manufacturer be focused before 1.0, or do you think they'll patch such as 1.3 could be the Banu patch with the Banu and the other release ships? Honestly, I think most of the alien ships will probably come with their expansion packs that are kind of what they're planning. After they've done the human campaign, it looks like they just want to keep doing the single player campaign, and then you also, as they say, they went to the Zion next as an example, you would then be able to play as a Zion, or they go to the Tavaran and they might do a prequel and you can play as a Tavaran and they show as they become part of the Empire, and then the last campaign could be the new Tavaran war breaking out, whatever they want to do. Yeah. Same thing with the Banu or the Vandal for that matter, right? All these races, this is the interesting thing, all the races we know of, we all know that they have one behind them. It's almost like they're planning for expansion packs after the expansion packs. Just saying. And if you look at what's happened with us, it's like us versus ourselves. Then, and if you watch what happens with the Vandal, it looks like we're going to team up with the Vandal in one of the episodes. So, see what happens there. But the same thing could happen. If you play as a Zion, the first campaign could be just internal. The second one's versus the humans. And then the third one is like us versus that other mysterious race behind them. And then along with that, you'd obviously get all their buildings flushed out, their base building mechanics, all their ships filled out. So literally right now, most of the ships we're seeing are the ones that are good for the human market. But what are the ones that are good for the alien market, right? And then you got different things there where the Zion are much smaller, the Banu and Vandal are taller. Yeah.
And I think at this point we're speculating when we say that's going to happen. But I think it's really obvious. We know that even developers are saying they want Tavaran, but love to play it as Tavaran.
I'd add to that, it's basically based on the success of the single-player campaigns.
Yeah. But if that goes, then we can see that coming. But other things that I think kind of hint to that are ships like the Raylan. The Raylan has living quarters that do both Ishian and human. The Banu ships have living quarters that suit both Banu and human. It's kind of hints that they're going to do that. And I look at Tavaran and their culture, what we know of their culture is only what we saved as war trophies, as kind of in your face, we beat you.
Yeah.
Tavaran did a purge of their culture, and so you can see a story there of Tavaran doing that. What's my culture? What does it mean to be Tavaran? Mm-hmm. And so you don't need to have anything new. You can use what you know of the game already.
And that's
part of that history.
And that's the part of it. That's a plus and a drawback, isn't it? Like, if they want to make new things, well, they ain't doing Tavaran. If it didn't do so well, but they want to do more of the human stuff, then maybe they will do the Tavaran. You see, so it's not. I don't think it's a guarantee. I think it's a choice, and I think depending on how successful it is, that'll lead the choice that they make. But they did talk about eventually wanting to make all the aliens playable races in the game too. And that's obviously a way to do it. All right.
Cyberwolf got that. Cyberwolf, you need to put question somewhere in your question.
What did he say?
He says, you know what we do to Vandal ships in the Empire? Question mark.
Nope. Steve Martin, question. I'm always amazed when new features are released, components, engineering, life support, etc., and recall CR talking about them in 2014 in Embassy crew videos. His vision has been consistent. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things me and Algared have been saying for years. If it doesn't change, generally it hasn't changed. And Death of the Spaceman spoke to that. 8 years between drinks. And me and Algared are sitting there at CitizenCon this year, and there was two things in the entire video of the entire second day that me and Algared went, well, that's new. Everything else was just an update. It kind of needed to happen though. Like as content creators, we kind of sit there and go, this just means we don't have to reference some obscure date or someone go, show me where, right? We can just go look at the video. Yeah. We don't have to go through all of it anymore. Most of it is in that video. It essentially took 10 years and coalesced it into one digestible session.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest thing. And you know, one of the things that really came out was we can build a Bengal. That was one of the things that had always been said you couldn't do. That was oh wow.
And the military ships have to be built, not purchased. I think that was the only other one. And I think the other thing is, like, they obviously heard questions come back, and that's what the things on the IAE show are. It's almost follow-up to stuff that they had on CitizenCon. Like, more advanced stuff. They can see questions have popped out. So that's really good to see them actually talking about them. And Rich Tyra is right there, man. Like, he's that game director, and he's on it. And he's I like that he's being very proactive and jumping on that and basically going, this is what we need to tell people, bring everyone up to speed. I really like that. And same with John being there with him too as well. So yeah. Dub Cody says, question, is it me or have the upgrades been terrible this year? Sorry if you've discussed it. They have been awful. They're just not as good as other years, but again, that means don't buy them, and buy them at the end is probably we've been saying that for years. They're too much of a gamble. I honestly think they should just get rid of them completely and just have them all at the end. It's like, I can see why they're doing it. They're trying to encourage people to buy them, but it's a gamble. That's why no one will buy them. And we've had other years where we know people that brought every single one, and they knew they were going to turn it into credit anyway, so that didn't matter for them. But again, I think in that year there was like 2 that were used out of like 20 that this person purchased, and that was back when they did 2, so 1 every day, but for both manufacturers. So it turned out to be close to, I think it was 19 or 20.
It really does come down, like, if you're looking at buying them every day, look at whether you're going to put more money in. And then if you know how much money you're going to put in, then it doesn't matter because you can melt them. But if you don't know and you're trying to play it safe, wait until the last day and then look at what works and what doesn't work for your chain.
Yeah, and I think the last time those 2 CCUs, they saved like $10. But you got to think about all the ones that they brought to get there. You know, so you know, maybe if it was 2 CCUs, it saved 10, you save $20. It's not worth the gamble, basically, is what we calculated. You're better off just to bite the bullet and spend 20 rather than spend, 100 or whatever it was.
Indeed.
So yeah.
And on Twitch, g'day, Father and Son Gaming. Lovely to see you.
Hey, Volta, nice to see you, mate. Yeah. Right, Murphy, Pluck Me says, question, I've been dealing with health issues for my family and haven't watched all episodes. Was wondering how the t-shirts worked out. Any updates? Actually, on one of the ISC shows, I'll see if I can bring it up, actually, while we're talking. It was on it's the one where they do the Polaris. Oh, right here. Right here. I found it already.
There you go.
There he is. He's this guy here. I don't know his name. He's wearing the shirt in... I've lost Algared. Hang on, I've got to pull Algared back up. Yeah, but he's wearing the shirt there in the shot. Member of the QA team. Yep. So they definitely have them, and they're definitely wearing them. Yeah.
How'd the QA team member get that?
He must be
he must be a ship guy as well.
He must be a ship team QA person. So yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. But
and there's pink hair girl.
That's Kelly Drex. Yeah, that's Kelly Drex. Me and Algared met with her and her partner and had lunch. He also works at CIG as well. But yeah, that's what she referred to as the pig-head Asian girl. But we know as Kelly Drex. So yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And there were a couple of people we talked to, and they'd say, say the name, and they'd say, "Who's that?" They the pink-haired girl. Like, oh no, yeah.
Or we even had one guy refer to her as pig-head Asian girl. So yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know, they seem to like the shirts. We also found out that the UK people like a lot of toilet humor, so we actually did take one of the other t-shirt submissions that we had that were we thought was very crass and very toilet humor based. But when Elliot saw it, he said John Crew absolutely loved that, so we took it and put it in a photo frame and gave him that as well.
And we gave Ben we gave both, didn't we?
Yeah, so I had one when I printed out, I made a mistake and I just included the second one in the box. It was totally fine, it was just the wrong size. And so John gave that to Ben Curtis. So Ben Curtis has a copy of it as well too.
And they both said John put the frame on his desk, and Ben kind of put the other one on the wall or something like that. It was
So
they loved it. That was blew my mind.
Man, I'd have to find it. Did I ever send it to you? I don't know if I've got it here. We did show it off at one point. Do you want me to show any? Do you want me to show that big photo of the Eiffel Tower? Just the Eiffel Tower, nothing else?
Yeah.
So this is Algared's Eiffel Tower shot.
Just in the snowstorm, in the looking white, and I went, I've got to take a picture of that.
Yeah. Well, this is tell us this one. This almost looks. I'm trying to find the ones without people in them.
That is Versailles.
Yep. This looks like a Christmas tree. That looks amazing, actually.
It does look like a Christmas tree. I was thinking that'll become a Christmas card.
I'll take and put some
photo. I took it.
I'll put some Photoshop stuff on it for you. Make it into a Christmas tree if you want. What's this thing? Is this the big archway? I don't know what this is called.
That is the Arc de Triomphe. Yeah.
Was that built by Romans or what?
It done in the Roman style.
Right.
But it was built to basically say how awesome Napoleon was, and so you've got all these generals, and all along the top rim you've got all the battles and all the victories. But the French have also put their unknown soldier there, so this has become their monument to all the wars. So in the middle they've got their unknown soldier from World War One.
Do you want to tell people about these two weird bastards and where are they?
They're a pair of bozos.
Yeah.
In the
I'd say cafeteria. Would you call it a cafeteria?
The cafeteria, yeah.
Yeah.
The Grimhex cafeteria of the Manchester studio.
Yeah. And so we got a photo taken of us there. And you obviously saw that as one of the thumbnails as well. I found the one I was looking for. It's this one. So this is the one that was one of the shirt design competitions. Algared and I thought was a little crass because it's John Crew's outhouse and John Crew's outhouse. And so he's literally shitting on them. But apparently that's funny, and we just, well, that's a bit harsh, but okay.
Considering we were trying to do it as a thank you to the team.
Yeah, it just seemed a bit crass.
To us, it was like, you can't do that.
Yeah, a bit toilet-y humour, but apparently John Q is into that type of thing, so
Ben loved it as well, so
yeah. So yeah, went down a treat, but again, it wasn't our type of humour. We were trying a bit more, again, neutral.
Well, as we said at the back of a shirt, it was a thank you to the team for producing the ships that we do enjoy. Even when we bag them out, even the fighters that we say don't buy, we still enjoy them.
This was the first one that got printed out for me. So this is a shot I sent to Algared just to show him how they turned out. This is the back of the shirt, how that turned out. And yeah, John Citizen got all these organized and printed for us before I got there, which is really nice of him to do that. But I need to talk about that. This is a great reminder. So the shirts that got printed in America, they stuffed them up. And I went and talked to them. I had to call them at like 3 a.m. in the morning again. I talked to them. They're reprinting them all, and you're all getting set a second one. And the only mistake is the words on the back, right? So you'll have a shirt that's on the front that looks totally fine, but the words are stuffed on the back. But then the second one will be coming, which is exactly the same on the front, and the words are fixed on the back. So you essentially get two shirts. One you'll just have to wear with a hoodie, and one. But yeah, you're gonna get a second shirt, right? Basically, because I was not happy that they stuffed them up. And you know why that was? That was us when we were switching the backs over, and we left them that message before we left, and no, the message did not get through, Algared. Though we were promised it would get through, it didn't get through. So yeah, when I got home, I was a bit mad. So if you've got your shirt, and the way you can tell if it's stuffed up is read Astropub, and it is spelt incorrectly. That is one of the ways you can tell it is, and there's also other names missing, right?
It just means those shirts are collector's items as well.
What was it? Was it the T or the R? The T or the first T or R is missing in Astropub. That's how you can tell if you've got your shirt if it's got a mistake in it. But yeah, there'll be others coming. So yeah, if you've already got one, be happy you're going to be getting a second one for free. So or if you got two already, you're getting two more. So yeah.
But we did actually see John Crew's office.
Yes, we did. Oh, that couch. They all had these British flag couches that look sick. which was pretty cool.
Well,
Yeah.
we asked John Crew about that as well, and he said, "Oh, Chris was going for these things. It was something big," and he said, "Man, I'm going all in."
Didn't they ask him he wanted something, and he said something like a desk or a table, and they gave him the couch anyway? That's what I remember him saying. But yeah.
He was saying he didn't want the couch, but I think originally, but everyone had to have one, something like that. And but when he had to have a couch, he went, "Yeah, I'm going all in." Then so I think it was a choice of the British flag or not. Yeah. But he went.
We also deliberately left the E on John Crew because what we found is when we showed it to people, so it came out really evidently to when I showed this to my mum. She goes, "You misspelt crew," and I went, she doesn't know. So what it will mean is if anyone ever walks up to you and go, "That's not how you spell crew," you instantly know they don't know, right? And so that's why we deliberately left it like that. Because if someone walks up to you and go, "Love the shirt," doesn't say anything, you know why they love the shirt. If they walk up and they go, "This is a spelling mistake," they've outed themselves.
I'm also looking at the back of a shirt where you've wearing the one that was mucked up.
Well, yeah. If it is, but there's no actual spelling mistakes other than Astro's name.
Yeah.
And so we went back through that and got that fixed.
Yeah. So that was that one. That's Murphy. Lee Bob. Based on what you're seeing of the Anvil Paladin, how much do you think it will cost? Well, you guys all think it's going to be about 350.
350 to 400.
That reasonable.
350 to 400. Actually, 400 took the vote by like one person, 1%. So yeah. Where are we up to, Lee Bob?
I've just ticked that one.
Yep. Lee Bob. No, PK the Pumpkin King says, "Do you think a new Anvil ship is a version of the Legionnaire because they said it was a variant from what last season con, which was the Legionnaire?" No, the one John Crew's talking about is the Guardian. Because if you look at both of them, which ship appears twice? It's the Guardian, right? One is the Guardian, the other is the Guardian Quai. And in the files, the Quai has... Actually, maybe that's what it is, Algared. The normal Guardian has 2 guns. The Quai has 1 gun and a QED. In the files, it has 1... Well, in the files, the Quai or the Chi has a QED and only 1 gun. I think that's what it is. I think there's 2 variants, an interceptor and a fighter type of thing. But
if you do that against the RSI one, the Mantis, I remember when we looked at that, we were saying, "Man, this thing isn't a killer. It doesn't have the weapons to do it. It hold them there, but then it relies on other stuff to do the killing."
Yeah.
So it would tie in with what we already know. So,
yeah. All right. I think that's it. I can go back to your... Yep, go for it, Algared.
So Strelok has a question. They say, "When do you, Inforunners, think the Ironclad will release?"
Knowing it was in production beforehand, 2 + 2 = 4. Therefore, maybe Invictus.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Great day.
Invictus or AIE, either way. But he also knew it was in production beforehand, which implied it was before then, which means it started at last Invictus, which would then take it which would have been when they sold it would have been 12 months, which means it's almost already finished. Yeah, it's got to be Invictus. Just doing the math, it's got to be Invictus.
I know he was saying it had been concepted 18 months prior.
Yeah.
Can't remember if he said they were actually working on it at that point, but it had been concepted and worked out what it was going to be 18 months prior to, or it was in that cycle when he was asked, "Are we getting a bigger Drake ship?" So, yeah. Invictus, AAE, sounds good.
Yeah.
Or when it's ready.
Yeah. All right, what's the next one, mate?
Shempasta, are you worried that CIG won't make enough money this year?
Nah. Even if it's the first time in a long time, I think there's only one other year where it went backwards. I don't think that that's super a problem. You also think about the ships across the board. Let's be honest, the ships haven't been, how do I put this nicely, of the same caliber. As in, they've all most of them been variants. and onboarding tasks, and it clearly looks like the biggest ship that we've had of the whole year was the Ironclad, and that actually came in Invictus. That also breaks the mold. Traditionally speaking, tomorrow is when the biggest ship of the year comes, and you look at that photo, that thing is no way is that as big as a damn Polaris or anything like that. It's a Redeemer level ship, so it either has to be,
unless that super large ship that we're all been hoping for is a surprise that they've got, and we
absolutely,
go.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't rule that out either.
Enough rope to hang ourselves, but yeah,
as usual. Yeah.
All
right.
But I think CIG, in terms of the money,
we could probably
they've only got to make enough to pay the bills ultimately, and yeah, so I'm not worried.
Yeah. Give me a second. I'm trying to bring it up. It's just here.
Yeah.
Here we go. Click this back over as it loads. Loading. There we go. So there you can see there. Damn. I don't think they are going to beat it last year.
Yeah, but does that matter?
No. I don't think it does.
As long as they're paying the bills, it doesn't matter. So, yeah. Are you worried? No.
It's interesting, though. It's interesting where it kind of it really started to drop off at CitizenCon.
Yeah.
Last month. That was a small month there where.
Yeah, the others had been above. Let's see, January was down. February was. May was big.
Do you think it's more CitizenCon and the events and the ships that were sold, or do you think it's a number of factors, or do you think it's like 4.0 not being dropped when they said they were going to kind of drop, like it was implied it was at CitizenCon? You think it's people just getting annoyed of like a broken promise or something like that? What do you think it is?
I even think a lot of us were expecting that the Squadron 42 date would be closer than it was, so I think that's had an impact. But I think the ships not being as big or as vast has had an impact. The fact we still are not in, we hadn't been in Pyro. All of those things are factors. But again, I don't think it's an issue. I don't think it's really a worry.
You got to also remember a lot of these really big years were back during COVID, where it really, really took off. So to keep up that momentum after everyone's not at home, I'm not surprised it's dropped off. The other thing, so we got a question of first time chatter there again, so we've answered this one already, but the Paladin is a gunship capital ship. I don't think so. This is a cleaned up image that we got earlier today. If you look at the markings on the ground, you can kind of see the circles and triangles, and then if I go onto this next image, you can see this is from Hangerlink, you can see the circles and triangles, and it's roughly the same size as a Valkyrie. It looks like it's a Valkyrie variant or something, a stripped down Valkyrie or something like that. Roughly Redeemer size is what I'd be expecting. And from what I've been told, it heavily competes with the Redeemer by a couple of different devs. They've all told me little different things, and by putting all the dots together, it very much looks like it's Redeemer competitor. So
yeah, but certainly not a transport, a vehicle transporter as
I first thought
it could have been.
Yeah. Well, again, once the blurs are taken off, it definitely looks different.
Absolutely. When the blurs are on, there's enough rope to hang yourself.
Yeah, I see things that are clearly not there. But I'll have to weigh up what it looks like. But yeah, I might be picking up a ship this year. I could, not that I wanted to, but I haven't brought a ship in a really long time. Like I just buy CCUs, and even if I can tell you right now, even if I don't pick this up, I'll be picking up a CCU, right? But I am a fan of Anvil, as I am a fan of a lot of ships. But if I had to pick Anvil ages for that size of ship, I'd probably go with Anvil. But it's going to have to be
armored as well. To me,
it's
front armored.
Yeah, I think it's definitely got some kind of drop ship thing going on. Again, being a Redeemer competitor, they probably went back to the original. You remember the original version of this? It had the Redeemer, and then they made the long range escort. I think this has become the dropship variant. So we'll have to wait and see.
I saw earlier in chat someone saying basically an escort ship, and I could see that. With it's one of the things that we've been saying, or people have been saying.
That's what the Redeemer. That's what the Redeemer's become. If this is a dropship, it makes it short range, not long range. Again, the engines also speak to short range. Unlike the Valkyrie had much bigger ones as well, and the Valkyrie also had a lot more weight to carry. Look how tiny they are. They are less than half the size of the ones on the Valkyrie.
Yeah, I could see that being the dropship that's in a Javelin, to be honest.
I don't, only because of this Algared.
Because of the
Look how fat that thing is.
Yeah.
That is easily fatter than the Redeemer. So until we see this thing tomorrow and we can connect all the dots, just look at the difference in the blur.
In its rendered mode.
Yeah.
Look at the circle.
You know what I've also just realized, Algared? There's actually two parts to this. Look. So we see this one wing here. There's actually a second one over here.
Yeah, just like on the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Look at the Valkyrie up. It's kind of at
and they've just become engines. So essentially they've dropped off the cargo part and it's just all troops.
But it also closes itself up. If you look at the one where it's firing, that's spread out. Whereas this is shrunk in.
Oh, you can see the two tails at the back there.
Yeah. But the wings are kind of opened up, I think.
No, the engines. There's no engines here on this version. They've been taken off. They've probably moved them underneath because they've got more room. Again, I'm getting to that point, Algared, where as we always get to,
95%.
We're at 95%. It's like we're going to just start going in circles again. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I hope you guys are looking forward to tomorrow in regards to that. So I'm going to put this one to bed now. Otherwise, we're just going to go down the rabbit hole again, which always happens with me. Especially, I love to speculate on this stuff, but I just know where it's going to go.
As I say to people, we like talking ship.
Yes, that's for sure. Someone took our name, by the way, and started using it as their podcast name, Talking Ship. I don't know if you know that, but yeah. What do you call it? Copying is the biggest form of flattery. So
yeah. Oddball's Hobby Channel says, Guardian reveal teaser was with the Airwolf theme. What kind of ship would be good for the Knight Rider theme?
Espionage, spy. I'm thinking kind of James Bond type thing. What do you think?
Well, Knight Rider was that.
Yeah, it was a crime fighter. Yeah. So crime fighting, interceptor type of thing. Well, you could do one for the Guardian Quai, and if that's the interceptor, they could have that there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. Thank you. Right, that's the correct saying. It says imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Yes, that is exactly what it is. What are you up to? PK the Pumpkin. No, PK. Read the whole question, Algared. There is no question there. PK Pumpkin King. Question: do you think the new ship shift from Anvil is a bearing of the Legionnaire, or it looks? No, it's definitely a Valkyrie. Like now you can see that second. Now I've seen that second tail part. That is 100% a Valkyrie. Just with the middle part taken out and the weight. You know what I just realized though? If that is the middle part taken out, maybe that does rotate around and fire backwards, Algared. Which would not make that that would make that the first remote turret in the game. As a remote man turret. Not a remote turret. I don't know how else to say that because there's clearly a person sitting in there because of this. Unless they actually made it remote. But I reckon it'd be really cool if it was manned.
I think it's a man turret.
Yeah. That's... Oh, shish. I just realized I don't have it on the right screen. That one.
You know, I did point out Patel's earlier in the episode, but...
I must have missed him, sorry. Again, I can be a bit slow when I'm tired. What are you up to? Primal Moss? Primal Moss, go for it.
Will the mods for the Endeavour be on sale again in the next event, or will we need to buy them in game now?
They should be available right now. On Mist Day, they would have been available.
They would have been available on Mist Day, to my
Yeah,
memory.
and they'll be available on the finale as well.
Mm.
Mm.
And if they're not, then that answers your question.
Yeah, and that would be a first too.
Mm.
Wolfo2 says, question, do you think the Crucible will get manufacturer modules now? No, I hope it doesn't. It doesn't really need to.
Manufacturing as in terms of ship and vehicle, yes, but not in terms of building.
What do you mean manufacturing modules? I don't know what he means by that. Is like it just means like different scarabs? Is that what he means?
Well, maybe. I took it as him asking, will it be able to manufacture parts of vehicles?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of vehicles. And if that's what you're asking, yes. If you're asking, will it have a build module for building buildings? I don't think so.
Oh, will it get a manufacturing module, or basically drop the manual? Will it be able to manufacture it? Yes. Yes. It'll be able to build ships, and it should be able to do all that, and also repair them.
But it's not going to be a base builder.
Yeah, it's the module word that threw me. Yeah. PK the Pumpkin King, question, do you think the new shift is a vary of the Legionnaire? No. Why have you asked that like 4 times? No, it is not the Legionnaire. Seriously, the same guy has asked that like 4 times. Because
he wanted his question answered and doesn't realise they go into our list and we work through them and answer them all. Yeah.
I'm just annoyed. But it's not a Legionnaire. Like, it's so obviously a Valkyrie. I had a guy in the Discord. I didn't reply back to him, but he basically was adamant that it was RSI. And there is no way that thing is RSI. No. Like just like all the RSI ships kind of curve on the outside, and then they have a center part, right? Like the Connie or the Scorpius. A lot of the Anvil ships are like completely curved, and they have the circle triangle motif. So it's just they're just so different from how they're done. And it was just like I just cannot look at that and see RSI at all.
If that had been an RSI ship, it would have been a third change of the RSI design language. One of the things that CIG are not constantly changing is the design language. They want each manufacturer to have a particular design and style. And so you can look at the design and style and say, oh, that's RSI, that's Origin, that's Anvil. And that's the key thing.
Stefan Herbert just asked, do you think it'll be ready to fly? Contacts is a wonderful thing. That's why I'm asking it now, because later on we wouldn't be able to answer it. But I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I think it may have been almost ready, but they've possibly ganked it, because there's been boxes go in and out inside the object containers in the leaked files. So we don't know whether it's going to be in there or not. So just wait till tomorrow. But again, being a variant, you'd have to think it's probably ready to go based on all the other ones that we had ready to fly. But if it's not there, I also won't be surprised. So again, just wait and we'll see. But it may or may not speak to you. Again, the Valkyrie variant might not be your thing. Again, not being a full-fledged variant also makes me a bit hesitant. So myself. Yeah. Algared, you can take the next one.
No. So Will Sawyer says, do you think we will see new hull limited ships before 1.0? They can do whatever they like. Depends on what they feel they need.
Yep. That was one of the things we really learned, didn't we? We were just surprised by how much, almost like I called it flying by the seat of their pants. They kind of just make stuff that they think is cool. Like, it comes down from design and they say, we need this ship that does this, and they decide what size it is, what manufacturer it is, and what they want to make.
And then they'll go to the lore team and say, give us some lore that ties in with the story.
Yeah.
And then they build it.
Yep.
And they concept it and do the rest.
Or they almost tell the lore team what they're doing, and then the lore team writes the story to fit.
So you've got, but it's kind of a two-way thing. You've got the overarching story, which is 12-inch paintbrush type stuff, which the lore team's written. That gets filled in, and then as they're building the particulars, they go back to the lore team and say, okay, fill this bit in. But they still want to make the room for the players to interact with that story and discover things and find things. And so, it's...
No 42 says, will we see a how to upgrade chain video with Paul? I have... No, don't put words in my mouth. We will see one, but it won't be on the first day. It'll probably be on one of the last 2 days. Paul wants me to go through with him and work out his I think it was his M2 chain.
Yep.
But I will go through that with him, and that'll be a separate video on one of the later 2 days. It won't be.
We'll see it.
Yeah, but you had. Why would you know?
Because we talked about it.
Oh, were you there? Were you?
The other day? Yes.
Oh, okay then. But you should never answer things for me. That I could say no. I just don't want to do that, and then you would look like a jackass.
No, the question was not a question at execute. It was just a will we.
All right, so Algared's doing one. All right, cool then. You and Paul can do it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're up to that robot guy 43. Do you think we will ever see a non-snub fighter Kruger ship? Well, tell them about Benoit.
Benoit wants one.
Yeah.
Benoit is my hero. Because I was talking to Ben and John. I said we want more. We want more Kruger ships, and they said Benoit's constantly on us about more Kruger ships.
Yeah. So if you want Kruger ships, make it known to John and Ben, and maybe they'll pull their thumb out.
Yep.
You do the next one, Algared. My eyes are getting tired.
What capital ship in any are we missing?
Capital refinery, capital gas collector, and capital fuel transport. Algared?
The other thing was that John Crew also said not every profession will have a ship in every class. So
yeah, they said they would like to do that,
yeah,
but they didn't say that they needed to do that.
Yeah.
So again, I think we could probably almost safely say though that we're at the point though where they probably will do every single one. There's especially now we're seeing double ups. Let's just put it that way. So yeah. Anything else you want to add to that? Are there any other capital? No, there's no other capitals you can think of.
We've got a hospital ship. We've got destroyers. We've got carriers. We've got.
I'll drop a manufacturer. Anvil.
Yeah. We're still looking for that one. I'd love to see their Pegasus.
They clearly need some bigger combat ships from Anvil to balance out the Aegis lineup based on war. And I think seeing ships like this, the Liberator, the Carrack, there's clearly got to be a Corvette from Anvil and clearly got it. So an S5 and an S6 from the Anvil. I think they're really obvious, and that's why they're coming later, because generally the rule that we've seen is they kind of design from worst to best. And so they're, people will melt the Idrises or jump from the Idris to whatever that thing is. I'm pretty sure they'll try to anyway.
The other thing is the Idris for Javelin and the Bengal, they are old ships. They're old designs and they're still going. And Anvil kind of have the flavour because they don't have that link to the Mezzas, and so you'd expect them to be getting the military contracts, and so you do expect them to have the large ships, and they don't. So yeah. Problem mods?
Yeah, you go ahead.
If you can make ships tier 1 to tier 5, how would you make something like a BMM tier 5 in a ship that is smaller?
They're not built from ships. They're built out of hangars, not out of ships.
Yep.
They literally showed that at CitizenCon. You build like these hangars on the ground, and they're different sizes, and they're built within the size of the hangar. So you'd need to think of an S5 hangar that builds a BMM.
Yep. Okay, execute. This is for you.
Right.
Did you get any sleep?
Yeah, we got a couple hours after we recorded the episode, didn't we? And I got a couple hours beforehand, so yeah. I'm trying.
For 75th Sol, do you think we will see more Zeus Mark II ships like SC's Law, like the Crusader Jupiter Mark II?
If they ever make the Crusader, then we might get a Mark II.
I would like to see a Crusader Jupiter.
They should bring it out and it's like really tiny just to piss everyone off.
Yeah. Well, the Jupiter was their carrier for taking their snub ships to market, because that was where they had...
Make it a Mark III and they go, oh yeah, they found out the first two were too big, so they downsized it in the Mark III. Boom, problem solved.
Yep.
Yeah, and make it somewhere between the Liberator and the Kraken. Bang.
Yep. But I would like to see that, yes.
Yep.
Cyberwolf 74. Do we know if we have caught up with the year funding wise, or are we still running on lower than last year? Still running lower than last year.
Yeah.
But does it matter?
Phalanx.
I kind of have an uncommon question, since you are following Star Citizen since the beginning and are knowledgeable about it. I would like to know your opinion on Squadron 42 trailer I created from the 1 hour gameplay. I like what you think about it, or what I could improve in future works. If not, are you interested in all this? And I would also like to understand it.
So the way I read that is he made his own cut of the trailer. Is that what that's saying?
Reading that, yep. And what do we think of it? I haven't seen it. To be
honest. Algared hasn't had a chance to sit down and watch the whole thing. If you're trying to take all the cool bits and put into a summary, that might be interesting. I'd probably, if you're trying to take like an hour and a half and compress it into 10 minutes, that might be the way to go. That's how I'd think about doing it, because some people just can't invest an hour and a half. That's a feature film. That's just how long that thing goes for. It's quite lengthy. So yeah, if you can cut it down to 10 minutes, like, and just try and hit all the cool rules, you don't even need the story bits. You just need all the cool bits, you know. So I just put as much cool shit into it as you can. Yeah, 10 minutes is about as much as you get out of most people. Like when we look at the YouTube algorithm stuff, they're always between 10 to 15 minutes is the sweet spot. So again, shorter the better in my book. You can't even get ads until after 8 minutes, so that kind of tells you what YouTube wants. They want ones at least 8 minutes long. So, you know, I'd aim 10 minutes. I think you'd be right, sweet spot. PK the Pumpkin. Does YouTube not get the question bot thing? Yes, it does, mate. And we went into that. All right, Nova 842. So the picture on the front being skewed is intentional. Context, the John's Crew shirt. Yeah, well, it's weighted because of the text. The way we had to put the text on was because also how the image was a little bit out, and that's how, in a weird way, it looks offset to the text, but it realigns it because of the image. So it's a weird way of doing it, but it makes it go back to centered in a weird way.
It actually looks right.
Yeah. And Dafty did a really good job with it. I actually said to him, see if you can weight the text so it makes it looks like it goes back to equal, and he did a perfect job, because I would have done the same thing. So yeah, he did really well. Right, next question.
Mike GMD. Do you find it unusual that Warbond Pioneers took the greater part of 24 hours to sell out, and both Kraken Warbonds were available almost 24 hours later?
No, we got this question earlier. Because they're credit, not cash. People don't have like $1,000 just to fly around in this economy, no matter what country you're from. Everyone's on a downturn. If you can just move what you've got into what you've got, like melt a couple of smaller ships and combine them, like we've been saying for years, better value. We've been saying that for a really, really long time. And that's what it looks like most people try to do. But again, they're the ones that sell out because that's what everyone wants to do. Nobody wants to put fresh. That's also why the money's down. It's not just because people aren't buying new ships. It's because people are shifting stuff around instead of buying more. You know, since CitizenCon, we heard people saying they want to get less ships, not more, because they've overbrought ships.
To get the skins, I was melting stuff to get them. You know, I don't have the money at the moment to spend on ships. I spent it in Europe and SitCon. You know, so...
Cronice is a first-time chatter on Twitch, says, question, if you could only use 3 ships for the remainder of the game, as it is now, what would you pick? Oh, man. So only ships that are in the game right now, or ships that exist right now? Because that changes the answer again.
Well, he does say in-game.
I'd probably go Kraken, Orion, and Reclaimer, I think. That's probably what I would do if I could only have 3. What about you, Algared?
So I'm just reading the Algared monocle.
We'll answer the question.
I think at the moment I'd go based on ships that are in-game. I think I'd go the Polaris. That was flying that last night and doing the task. That was a lot of fun.
Well, just 2 ships that were announced like I did, so that makes it a bit easier. Just essentially, what are your fee? The 3 ships you'd take if you could take in a game right now, or
I have to take only 3.
Yeah, it does make it difficult still.
It does make it difficult. There's so many.
Yeah. Well, I went the Kraken because it's a bit universal and it's big.
Yeah.
And then the Orion because it does economics, and the same thing for the Reclaimer because it does economics.
I'd probably go the Endeavour because it's a Swiss Army
knife.
Good
choice. Good choice.
I'd like to go Javelin, but that's an all-grade ship. So I'd probably go down to either a Polaris or Perseus. Don't know what the Perseus is going to be like, but the Javelin of the Polaris is really good. And then I'd probably go Orion. That was one of the first ships that I really liked. Those economic.
Yep. He said ships that are. He corrected himself. That ships that are purchasable. So that's all good. Yep. Good answers. All right. Wuxtree says, "Did I miss the Paladin talk?" Yes. Yep. Yes, you did.
We've gone over it a couple of times, but it's a Valkyrie variant.
Pretty much. Bitmask64 says, question, when can we safely melt upgrade ships we are holding onto for the best in show skin after the sale? After they've been given to you, then you can melt them.
Yep.
And you want
to melt until you've got them.
Yeah, you really want to do it from a ship that is CCU. What is it? Not CCU. Is it CCU or no? I can't remember. I think you got to do it with CCU ship, not outright ships from memory. Because if it's one that you've bought, the skin is included with the ship. Where if you upgrade to it, it's applied retrospectively, so therefore you can delete it and keep the skin. There is a trick to that, by the way. So if you want to kind of buy the ship outright, buy the ship below, and then buy the CCU and apply the CCU, and that way it'll give you the skin, and then you can melt it all and get rid of it. I'm going to be honest though, with the skins that are there this year, I think they are the weakest offering we've ever had in a. I think they're worse than the very first year. That's how bad I hate them.
I can't get beyond that. I'm sorry. I think the first year
each to their own. But I think the pink and white, I would still take those over the purple white.
Oh, that purple is disgusting.
I have to wait and see them in game, but like if they're not metallic like they need to be, then that's a real step backward. And they don't look metallic in that screenshot. I don't know if you've seen it. I posted on Twitter, but yeah.
Yeah. I still think the purple from that first year was more disgusting, but
yeah. Stefan Herbert says, question, you think it will be ready to fly? Well, we answered that one already. Jack Macken, what do you think will be the negative aspect of the Paladin? Well, half the arse of the ship is missing. There's no armor on the back of it. It's all on the front.
Yep.
So this thing,
that thing,
it's cooked. Yeah.
But you're in front of that thing, you're dead.
Yeah, that's it. So that's the difference between it and the Redeemer. The Redeemer you can kind of fly around it. This thing, it's all forward guns. So that's something to really think about, actually, because how often do people get behind the Redeemer? It also means that it's not an in-space ship. It's an on-ground combat gunship. It's a reason not to like it all of a sudden. Yeah.
It's a nasty, horrible beast of a thing that's going to cause grief to you.
Yeah. Maybe I might not get this after all.
Could it be a boom and zoomer? And blast you and just keeps going.
No, I don't think so. Because it's clearly going to land to defend whatever it's going to defend with all the guns going forward in the big shielded area, and then take back off and then leave it behind. All the opposite, pick them up as well. That's why it's called the Paladin. It's shielding you while you get on and off. A bit like what the Prowler does, really, in a weird term of phrase.
It's a UEE's Prowler. Maybe.
Yeah, something similar. Yeah. Cal Doom says, question off topic, sorry, but do you think the Pioneer will ever lose hull limited status? I want it to lose it so badly, but I don't know at this point. It's clear that we have already sold too many of them, though, so to speak.
Yeah. Based on what Ben said, that being absolutely staggered that he spoke to someone from an org, and every person in the org had one, and he was like, couldn't believe it. I can't see them removing that whole limited aspect.
Yeah.
Just
if anything, they need to kind of redistribute the ones around, so not as many orgs have them. But I don't see a lot of people melting them off to be added back into the pot. But it'd be cool if it worked that way. Matt Flat says, question: any guesses on crafting, manufacturing components by players, shields, emitters, coolers, etc.? Yeah, I think all of them, or every single damn thing. And I just, you got to remember, size 3s and that have to be kind of put in at a shipyard. So does that mean eventually player shipyards, and how do those components get moved around and put in? We'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it.
Well, we know on a space station you can build the shipyard because that's where you build your Bengal.
Yep.
So,
but I mean, like, so you've got a size 3 component you just built. How do you transfer that to the cargo? Yeah, that's what I mean. Are they still transferable as cargo, or do you just bing them out and they automatically go into the cargo area? Like they're built straight into the cargo area, so they're more of a virtual thing than a real thing.
Built straight.
Yeah, that's what
straight into the ship.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, that too. That could be a part of it too. Or no, but it has to be swapped over. You got to take the old one out using it. So it has to be virtual. It has to be virtual. So do you ever have a physical item that's a size 3, or is it only 1s and 2s? That again, we'll have to see that down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good question. Stephen Helbert, price range of Paladin around, as we did a poll, 350 to 400 was the two numbers that were right up the top at 33 and 34%. 34% being $400. So yeah, one person voted 400 at the last minute.
Yeah. Calboom.
Yep.
Sorry to do that. What do you think of a Pioneer? I've done that one.
We're up to Shedden happens. So do you think the Ghost will be different from the base Mark II that will make it worth getting? I think the Ghost, when more stealth game play comes in, will stand out a lot more. I think that the first sort of parts of that we'll see will actually come in with the tracker as well when we get scanning. So hiding yourself from the scanners will probably be the first form of stealth that we see.
Yep. Kraken, do you think once they have the tack, they'll try to make more snubs, possible the Kruger one mentioned, small enough to fit, or keep it bespoke to Fury?
I think it's heavily tailored at the Fury.
But
don't say that
that fits.
Don't rule out more snubs in the future that just happen to be small as or smaller than the Fury.
Yep.
Mike G. MD says, question, will there be different sized hangars? I hate to need a Pioneer to build a hangar for a small or medium ship. Well, the Pioneer can build, I think it's up to medium ships on itself. So you wouldn't need one. But if you wanted to build a large ship or an extra large ship, then yeah, you would. So if you needed to if you needed to build an S4 or 5, then you would have to build the hangar.
Yep. Go back to Kraken's answer, because I could see the Fury being used in the back of the Kraken in that Dragonfly hangar section.
He did say other bikes and types, but I don't know about a Fury. Possibly. Again, it depends how they build it. We'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
Isogen says, question, do you think CIG will actually think about the volume of the material needed for construction of, say, a wall and make it similar to the real world, or will they magic it away? I think gameplay is going to trump realism, so I think it's really whatever the design needs more than the realism, and I think that's I'm going to be honest, I've designed games and it's the only way to do it.
What have I said in the past? They'll dial it up to realism and then dial it back for the fun. So you make it as real as you can and then pull it back.
You can do it both ways, honestly. But at the end of the day, the game has to beat the realism, because guess what? It's a game.
Look,
so, yeah.
All right. Mr. Rich, whose name has just gone from me, but in the show the other day when he was talking about
Rich Tyler,
Rich Tyler, when he was talking about the flight modes, he was talking about wanting that distance that travel to be slow and fast enough so you don't waste all your time, because gameplay matters. You want it to be fun. You want to get to the action, not spend an hour getting there. So that's that gameplay mattering.
Chrono says, if you could only... No, we did that one already. Destroy. Tell Algared to answer the wrong question to make it easier. I don't get that one. Code Grizz says, question, currently I have a Star Lancer Max daily driver, Saber, Comet, Fighter, Galaxy cargo module, hoping for crafting mod, and PERS, I don't know what that is, and PERS. PERS? There's no ship that's got a PERS. Monica, should I wait for craft or get dedicated ship?
Perseus.
Perseus. That's what that is. Yeah, good call. Thank you. Yeah, well, they've mentioned that it's going to definitely getting some form of manufacturing now. Just kind of wait and see how it is. And the other thing is, when the BLD drops, why can't you pick up a CCU and just sit on it and jump to the one that you like out of the two?
Yep.
That's what I would do.
Absolutely.
But, you know, also make sure you got exit strategies for all those smaller fighters so you don't get stuck with something you don't want, or that's really easy to obtain in-game.
Yep.
Maximize that value.
I think certainly the Galaxy, when it was sold in the store, hinted that it had a crafting module. Like the manufacturer seemed to be a crafting module. John Cruise certainly said if it didn't have a build module, it would have something else. So yeah,
I think the problem really happened though when you look at the stuff where it's got Tub Peppy on stage, literally got the Galaxy in the background saying this is one of the base building ships, and that's the problem.
And that was the problem.
So people expect it to build buildings, where there's been a miscommunication, internally. Again, as long as it does some form of manufacturing, I'd be fine, and just offer a $0 upgrade to people to go give it the Buccaneer treatment. If you don't like the Galaxy anymore and you want to do base building, here's the build. If you don't want the build, then you stay with the Galaxy. Keep your multi modularity, but it won't do. Maybe it doesn't do base building anymore. Maybe it just builds ships or vehicles. And I'll be honest, I would prefer that, because then you could just build a vehicle or a ship that builds buildings, and you're fine. You know.
And from memory, like when they did with the Cutlass and the Buccaneer, and they did the $0 swap over, it was a time limited offer for those who had the Cutlass already.
Yeah.
And after a certain time, it disappeared. So.
Yeah.
So yeah. TJ Fly.
Yep.
Hi guys. Thanks again for fixing my fleet. No problem, TJ. I have a Prowler Ironclad CCU, but if Ironclad releases that Invictus, what ship to Prowler CCU do I need to ensure to complete the chain at Invictus launch week?
Just pick up one that's readily available. The one I'm thinking off the top of my head would be like a Reclaimer. I think that's available almost all the time now. And if it's not, then just find another one. And again, you can go a couple of ones down. You've got Hercules there. Again, I can't quite remember what all the everyday available ships are. There is a way to tell, actually. It's got something to do with the stars in the upgrades. And Lemming was telling me about it, and I've never picked up on it. So see if we can have a quick look. Maybe someone in chat can explain it to us that's worked it out, because I haven't worked it out yet. But I know it's got something to do with the stars. Let me just switch over. So
I'll be honest, I've never paid attention.
Yeah, I pick up on these things, but I mean to go check, and I don't often get time. So see how it's got stars.
All right, yep.
Stars, and then let's find one that is probably not out. What's something that's rarer, that's not available all the time? What? There we go. Hull B. It's not out. No, I think it means it's out. It's a flyable. There you go. Flyable ship.
Not out.
Non-flyable. So I was wrong.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's not what I thought it was.
But it does help you see what ships are flyable and out. So usually the ones that are flyable are readily available,
or at least more readily available. But if we go up to that $400 price point, you've got the Reclaimer. You know what else is there? You got a C2 Hercules at 400. There you go. You could literally get a 600 Prowler for $5.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of one that's available every day. There isn't really any. Demon's not. Caterpillar. Mole. The Mole is. I know the Mole is. So if you want to build back down to the Mole, that's available all the time. I'm not sure of the others though, but the mole I know that for sure. Stars around the ship says it's flyable or not. Yeah, thank you. Yep. So I wasn't quite right. Yeah. I don't know, I hope that helps. Sorry, a little bit tired. I'm falling asleep again. But that is how it is.
Nice.
Yep, go for it.
What are you most excited about in this game's development over the next year?
I think base building, as I said this on one of Space Tomato and on Captain Table last weekend. Just once base building comes in, the ability to feed resources into that and actually turn it into something, where now we just kind of go mining and it turns into cash. Actually tangibly turning into something is going to be pretty cool. And if not long after that we get a little bit of more manufacturing as well, so we can build a bit of a few components, do a bit of repairs, things like that. I think repair has to come after manufacturing, don't you?
I think they're like one of the things we always used to say was that the salvage ships and the ore mining ships really dovetail together with the Crucible and the markets, because they mine the raw materials. The Crucible uses those raw materials to do stuff, and then you sell the repaired stuff off, and it just it's nice to see that what they've been saying is, or what they're saying is basically what we've been saying for years.
And I know you're very tired.
Mm-hmm.
You just said Crucible.
Yeah.
Crucible, and you said Crucible.
Yeah, okay.
It's like you took two words and mashed them together.
Yeah.
Like I'm invisible.
Yeah, I'm invisible. Yeah.
Invisible and invincible at the same time. Yeah. All Wish says, since after 1.0 you can buy military ships in game, does that mean that everything in Invictus can't be brought in game after 1.0? If not, where can I find a list of military ships? Military ships will be essentially made by a military manufacturer. Would be the easiest way to do it. So most Anvil ships fall under that. Most Aegis ships will fall under that, unless if they specifically state like the Vulcan and the Reclaimer. They literally tell you that, and they probably will put eventually something much like the sparkly thing on the ships to tell you, well, it's military or not.
But the other thing is, for ships that we have from like the Hornet, they are civilian variants of the military ships.
So they're probably going to be buyable, but an F7A will be military, so it can't be brought, you see. So there's now a distinguished difference between the two. And some of the other this is the other problem. Some of the other ships were military ships, but they're retired. So some of the Carrack variants are older. So same with the Idris. They were sold off Idrises. They're not military anymore. Excuse Jax, he's getting happy. Yes, it is fast food time.
Same as the Javelin.
He's coming to tell me that he's hungry and it's time to go feed him. Yes, I am an hour late. I'm sorry. I will feed you shortly. We've got like a couple of minutes left. We've only got like 7 questions, all right? You big sook.
MU235. How do you feel about the incoming changes to a flight model for 4.0? Give them a chance to get it done.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's it.
I just think of every MMO I've ever played. Every time a patch comes out, there are changes that you've got to get used to. And this is no different. It's an MMO.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've got to give them a chance to create it and give it time. You got to remember, Squadron was a single-player game. It's a completely different flight model to a multiplayer game. A lot of it can be cheated. You saw yourself, some of it was in a turret. Some of it will be in a vehicle. Some of it's on foot. It's not exactly at the forefront. And a multiplayer game's got a lot different requirements to a single-player game. You know, a lot of things can be cheated and scripted and changed. So, yeah, I think it really hasn't been built, honestly. And I think you've got to give them the chance to build it. Flashpoint, basically, sorry, he's got some extra letters in there. Question, what is the Inforunners list of Goldilocks zone ships? Perseus, Arastrono are on there, I believe. When they say Goldilocks, they're really talking about a nice crew size. So I think things that are like those ships that we have talked about in the past, what we call daily drivers, that have a nice, so things like the Constellation, MSR, Corsair, they would all be on that list, I would think, Algared, wouldn't they?
Yep. 4 to 6.
Yeah. Yeah, or less actually. I think you could also bring some of the mediums in there that go down to 3 as well.
Yep.
Just ones that have got a bit of versatility. So what would be S3 and S4. They probably have the most versatility because they scale up and they scale down, where when you have a bigger ship, they only really scale down, and when you have a little ship, they only really scale up. So you can, they're kind of against a wall, a hard wall, where the others can go down and up a bit. So it just gives them more natural versatility. And that's not going to be the same for all ships, obviously. I'm just trying to give you the broad strokes. So generally more generalist ships, so that have a bit of cargo and stuff like that. Master Gecko says...
that more or less answers the next question, which was Master Gecko 117 says, best soloable multi-crew ship?
I don't think there is such a thing, really. Probably the 600i in game right now would definitely be up there. But I think it'll all change again, for the good or for the bad. You are annoying the shit out of me, little man.
Once you get NPC crew and blades, there'll be other ships that fit that bill. I can remember when they brought out the 890. One of the things that the 890 was known for was being a ship that didn't need a lot of crew to fully man it. A lot of it was automated.
Yeah.
So I can imagine Origin ships kind of lending more into that style, but it really is what ship do you feel you can cope with a solo and how?
AlexX1 says, I heard you say a few days ago that the base building will be in the game sooner than you think. How soon? Had a lot of devs say to me it's coming sooner than you think. I don't know if that means it's in 4.0, but you got to remember at CitizenCon, a lot of the stuff we saw was in game. It wasn't like a concept image. There was someone in game doing it. So how soon? Well, it's in game. You tell me, how long does that take? And soon I would imagine is quicker than 12 months. So yeah.
So Destroy has put into context at an earlier point when we were talking about what ships we would have in game or what ships we'd want. He says, I was answering it correctly based on ships in game. You told him not to make it easier. He found it funny.
Well, so, the thing is, he's wrong because he didn't ask the original question. And the guy on Twitter asked the original question, and he corrected it and said the opposite. So no, you're wrong.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Shenpasta question: do you think CIG will unnerf the 400i?
Has it been nerfed?
I don't know.
How did they nerf it?
I don't know. I haven't been on it in a long time.
Shenpasta, how did they nerf it?
It's an Origin ship. Make it do more, and then I'll give a shit. Yeah.
It's an Origin ship. It was already nerfed.
Yeah. Yeah, you're flying at Shem. That's why it's nerfed. All right. Anyway, Crusader Maximilian, Inforunners, would you guys say that the Liberator is worth getting tomorrow?
It's a ferry. I don't think my opinion of it has changed.
I think, honestly, there is another variant coming of, and let me explain. You've got the Liberator that does ships and vehicles. You've got the Ironclad Assault that does all vehicles. I think there's clearly another ship coming down the line that does all ships. Now, I could be completely wrong, but I'd be waiting for that. Or I'd have CCUs that go through the Ironclad and the Liberator, just the CCUs, nothing else, and sit on them, lock in that price, and wait and see if that ship comes out. And if it never comes out, then you've got your options to do whatever you want. Make sure you've got a starter ship and start building those CCU chains to bring the price down from whatever the most expensive ship is. And you can always go up to the one that you like and then stop and sell the others off. You'll be fine. Make plans. You've got time. We've got a couple of years at least yet now. So, yeah. Mike GMD says, question, thanks for answering my other question. I was thinking this got lost when YouTube bot was off. Arastra, Orion, or Reclaimer. No, it goes back through the thing and answers them all. So it says, he says, Arastra, Orion, or Reclaimer for 3 to 4 friends. Making money, I never have mind in game.
I've never mind in games.
Yes. Yeah, so for me, I prefer the Orion because it's only a $75 difference, and you're getting a much bigger ship, and you can earn backwards. So it's more about the money now than the ship, and you can struggle with 3 or 4 people on an Orion quite a lot more than you can well, I still think you could struggle solo it, right, and make enough money to buy the Arastra. But taking an Arastra and trying to make an Orion is not going to be the same. So it's more bang for buck to have the bigger one and go backwards. And you don't need all the big ones. You can just have one big one and go backwards.
Yep.
So you could go backwards from the Orion and say, or sideways and get the Reclaimer. Right? Yep. That sideways is going to be quicker than going up. Let's just put it that way.
Based on because we don't know how many people are going to be on Orion, I would, if I had to choose now, I'd say Reclaimer. But my personal preference is Orion.
Yeah,
that was the one that always spoke to me.
Yeah, I think that's the other part of it. You need to do a bit of research and try and find out. Even if you've never done the mining, you could at least read about it and tell you which one appeals to you. So, or get in game and try the Reclaimer. Get in game and try the Mole. There are ones there that'll, and you might hate it. You might love it. You just don't know. We had people that came out. There was a real big combat guy in one of the orgs that I went to visit about 3 months ago, and they were. He plays with General Desperado, and they were doing the testing on the Hercules inside. What was it? Where it was in the electronic access, whatever it's called.
Yep.
What the hell is that called? I'm on a brain fart moment.
Commander.
Arena Commander. So they're in Arena Commander testing the Hercules stuff, and he went from a combat guy to an engineer almost overnight. Right? So you never know what the gameplay is that you're going to like in most cases, because we've just theorized it up to this point. Until you actually, even hearing about it is not the same as playing it. Like, I heard about the lasers and all that, but then you actually play the lasers for the mining, and there's a certain nuance to it, and it does change it, right? That may or may not be for you. It's the same thing for Salvage. Salvage is not going to be the same now as when Salvage is finished. You got to remember that as well. And mining will get better as well. This is all infancy.
The other thing is based on 3 to 4 players. The Mole is a 3 to 4 player mining ship, so you can actually test that gameplay and see if it appeals to you. And the Reclaimer fits in.
Yeah, I'd take the Arastra. It's only one person more. Not for value proposition, and he also didn't list them all. But yeah. Again, you got to look at it based on the dollars spent, and at the moment the Arastra is only $75 behind the Orion, which is literally 6 times the size of the Arastra. You can't tell me in what world a ship 6 times smaller than the other will make anywhere near as much money. You just can't. I would not believe you in a pink fit.
The only reason I mentioned the Mole as 3 to 4 players is he said he's never mined. So rent it, try it, see what it's like, see if you enjoy it.
Well, by that token, let's just let's give him the Endeavor, the Apollo. He asked for those 3. That's why I said don't go out of track. Anyway,
he also said mine, so give him the mining option. That's my point.
Anyway, Logos Prime.
Atlas Gaming, thank you for or Atlas Ran Gaming, thank you for the super chat. I don't even play Star Citizen anymore due to hating master modes, but I still watch you guys. Well, thanks.
Yeah, it'll come around again. If you hate master modes, I don't know what to say. Like, master modes wouldn't have existed in the final game because it doesn't support big ships. It just does not work, and the time to kill is all going to change and all that type of stuff. Like, no matter what you look at, you've only got to look at one other thread, and the entire old version just falls to pieces. It was a placeholder for 10 years. It was smoke and mirrors and pretty lights to keep us busy while they worked on Squadron 42. That's what it was. And that's why the game as a whole has been glacial. We've had more work this year than all the other years combined. And it's not even quite in yet. But you can see what's coming because they just finally moved over. So, yeah. Logos Prime says, do we think where the Odyssey is in the development pipeline? I think it might be sooner. We don't know where it is, but I think with the Mist stuff they've been working on, we might see it sooner rather than later. Again, working on the Star Lancer would have to definitely help with the Odyssey, would it not?
Yeah, look, we thought based on the Ironclad being done that Drake would be the next family of ships to be worked on. Are they working on 2 family ships at the same time? Not really sure, but they seem to be working on Misk at the moment and building them. So
Misk, Drake, and RSI seems to be the 3.
So which one takes the flavour? Your guess is as good as ours. And the last question.
Yep.
VL Amanda says, how much do you think Squadron 42 is going to cost when it's done?
$70, I'd assume.
Yeah, I'd say so, about $70. Standard MMO pricing.
Yep. Okay, I got to do a redirect for that. Do you want to do the last question, Algared? Why or was that the last question? No, that was the last question, wasn't it?
Yep.
We're gonna raid the Astropub because we don't get to raid him too much anymore. And he's been obviously helping me out with shows all this week, so we're gonna do that if I can get.
And before she goes,
Mm-hmm.
hi Kelly, thank you for watching us.
Yep, Kelly Drix, nice to see you. If you are there, oh yeah, she is too. Nice. Hope you're doing well. Did like I spotted you in the little preview before you popped up on the, because I went through the whole first video frame by frame, like, oh, that's Kelly, and then you picked up on the next episode, so it was nice to see you.
Yeah.
In there, right? Right. So Paul's doing a pubathon, so we're gonna raid him on Twitch first. So let's do that. Raid setting ups do not allow you to raid at the, what the hell? Paul, why can't I raid you? Someone go and yell at Paul.
Well, how much does he like the Paladin? Does that destroy his favorite ship?
I just yelled at him. I said, Paul, trying to raid you, fix your shit. I don't know why it won't let me raid him at the moment. The Astropub. I'll try one more time. Invalid username. What? The Astropub's raid settings do not allow you to raid them at this time. Are you serious? What? Okay. Well, great stream. Thanks, Paul. Guess we'll raid someone else, since you can't fix your shit. And this is where I won't be able to find anyone else. No, I really can't find anyone else on Twitch. All right, I think we'll just end it there. Says I don't have permission to raid you. Let me fix this. We'll bring it up and see what he's saying to us. Twitch TV, the Astropub. Go over here and go here. Is it because he's asleep? No, he's awake. All right, hang on. I'll turn the volume on.
My subscribers.
Volume on. He's moving.
He's not talking yet. Sound is on though. Well, look, I can't look. I'll try. Look, I can't raid him.
Turn all of that off so you can raid again.
I'll try it one more time then. Flash.
Says you don't have permission to raid me? You should. I changed it, so now you should have permission to raid me.
Right. Trying one more time. Wait. Am I doing it on the wrong screen? Am I being an idiot? Alright, here we go. Raid.
And then take it in. I think there's a real chance for this to be the spaceship experience we've been working towards this whole time.
I think the big thing to take away.
Raid is being created. Alright, cool.
Things that we've discussed.
Alright, I'll mute this again. We'll go back to this. Alright, so thanks for joining us today. If you're on Twitch, yeah, thank you for all the bits and bobs and all that type of thing. It's been a good stream. I am utterly exhausted. I'm going back to bed. I don't know about you, Algared, but that's my intention. So Twitch should say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube say goodbye to Twitch. And we'll see you guys next time, Twitch. All right, YouTube. Just remember, you'll also be
subscribe.
Hang on. You'll be redirected at the end of this if you're on YouTube as well, also to Astropub stream. So yeah, with that then, as you said, go Algared.
Like, subscribe, hit that bell. Only about 40% of people hit that bell or are subscribed. So do that if you've been here once or twice, because it says you do like us.
Yeah,
it gives us a warm fuzzy.
And thank you to everyone that went the extra mile on Patreon at the end of the video. All right, with that then, he's been Algared.
He's been Execute, and we're out of here. Take care, civilians.
See you, citizens.